What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another day, another episode of 30NSG. On today's show, we're going to be talking about Xbox is reportedly exploring more new Game Pass tiers. So we'll talk about that on today's show. We're going to be talking about Ubisoft won't delay Star Wars Outlaws for polish despite recent criticism. And we're also going to talk about former Rockstar dev thinks GTA 6 might disappoint people. This is what the main topics that we're talking about today. If you like what we do, please make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. What's going on, chat? Oh, hold on one second. All right, let me see what you guys are saying. Morning, Travis. Morning, Dustin. What's going on, Kurt? Water Bear. Who else is here? Behemoth, what's going on, man? All right, let me see what you guys are saying. Travis, I'm curious to see what hear about the Outlaws news. I don't know if it's any more news. It's just the response of Ubisoft talking about why they're not delaying after the criticism. So we'll see what that is. Kurt says I might try out Fallout 76 as well. Never played it, but it looks right up my alley. If you like Ark type of games, open world, if you like the Fallout game in general, the Fallout series in general, Fallout 76 right now is a really good place for Fallout 76. It's the best. Obviously, we can talk about games like this all the time, right? When it comes out, they're broke, buggy, unfinished. We talk about it every single day. But Fallout 76 right now is the best it's ever been in right now. It's actually a lot of fun. I play it all the time now. If you're a new person coming in, there's a crap ton of stuff to do, and they just added the brand new expansion on top of that with actual story's pretty good so far. We're about like halfway through, I think, the story. So that's been fun. Why isn't my headset connecting? I don't know why. Oh well. I want to make sure my audio is working well. Yeah, so Fallout 76 is in a good spot right now. Man, I've been exhausted since I came back from my trip. I woke up a little later today than I wanted to. Waterbear says, "Man, I've been so caught up in the First Ascent, I literally neglected all games since it dropped. What other games have you guys been playing?" It's funny that I've been on vacation, so I haven't been engulfed in like what you're doing with the First Ascendant, even though I got like 60 hours in that game, maybe 70 hours now. But I wanted to try out No Man's Sky last night on stream. The update just went out this morning for Xbox because my son's updating it right now. So we'll talk about that, I guess. I don't know if we're playing that tonight. Probably not, because it's Wednesday and we're shooting the shit with Sarge usually on Wednesdays. So we'll play some shoot 'em up game tonight. Not sure which one. But I haven't been playing much. I mean, while I was on vacation, I played Fallout 76. I played out the First Descendant. I played a little bit of MLB The Show. I played for like a half a second. My son and my nephew played it with a bunch of friends. I bought the new Teenage Ninja Turtles game that was out on... It was a mobile game first, and it just came out on the Switch. I forget what it's called. Not Shredder's, Splinter something. Let me look it up real fast. TMNT, not Mutant Mayhem. Splinter's Fate. That's what it is. Splinter's Fate. It was like a $30 game. I picked it up on the Switch. Here, this is what this is. So it's a top down. As you play, you upgrade your abilities and whatnot. I played it very little, but they liked it. What they didn't like, actually, I kind of like it because of it. When you go to a boss battle, if you don't beat the boss, you have to go back all the way to the start again, right? And I was like, that's cool. Because I bought it on a real quick whim because we were having a barbecue and the kids were kind of like bored and there was 4 of them. And I went, I know this just dropped. Let me buy it on the Switch. They sat down in front of that television set and they started playing it. They absolutely loved it, right? So I'm gonna have to try to play this and see what happens. If it's good, bad. It seemed good. It seemed, between this game and the last arcade style that came out, Shredder's Revenge. I think they've been hitting on the money with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles games, but at the same time, they also have Mutant Mayhem, and it comes out, and that one doesn't look as good. But can't win them all. So yeah, we got this one called Splinter's Fate. So if any of you guys have it, maybe we'll play on. Maybe we can play together. I don't know. I don't think I have anybody's gamer tag on Switch. I'm also trying out. We have this thing, right? So we have 3 stories. A is Xbox reportedly exploring more new Game Pass tiers. B is Ubisoft won't delay Star Wars Outlaws for polished despite recent criticism. And 3 is former Rockstar dev thinks GTA might disappoint. So I have this little thing I created. Let me see if it works. Okay. Where it should pop up. I'm not really too sure how you guys are supposed to vote on it. Let me see. If I do this and then come back to it, does it pop it up? Apparently it's not working. You son of a bitch. Nope. Not working. I wanted interactive for you guys, like A, B, or C, but apparently it doesn't want to work. It doesn't want to work. Supposed to be a questionnaire thing that pops up, and you get to choose on the mobile phone. But there goes that. That doesn't work. We'll have to figure out something else. Just use a pen and paper like the airports. Might as well, right? Give me 1 second. Got to turn on the fan. All right. So do you guys want the Xbox story? Do you guys want the Ubisoft story? Or do you want the GTA 6 story? Let me know in the chat. We get this on console? I know. I was like, I looked at it first, Water, and said, is this on Xbox? Is it? Nope. It's only on Switch. I was like, okay. It's either this or mobile. Oh, the Power Rangers Rita Rewind. That's just like the Transformers one. That's like the G.I. Joe one. Oh, not Transformers one. I'm sorry. Ninja Turtles, G.I. Joe, Power Rangers, and there's one more. Toxic Avenger. They're all coming out like that. I played the demo of the G.I. Joe. We might pick it up and play it. Yeah, I'm coming off a college football high, looking for a long time playthrough. Well, if you're Fallout 76 would be that, Kurt. Are you already kind of like done with the NCA? Come on, Robert Jones. Are you already done with the NCAA football? Come on. Eldenic says GTA. Jason says Ubisoft. Kurt says Ubisoft. Travis says Ubisoft before I leave. Play a couple games tonight. Gotcha. All right, let's do Ubisoft. We'll do Ubisoft first. All right, so Ubisoft won't delay Star Wars Outlaws for polish despite recent criticism. Now, we just watched the video, what was it, Monday? Was it Monday or was it yesterday? It was Monday. And I was excited about this game last year when they first showed it. I was very excited. I was like, holy Christ. I was like, I'm excited about this. We talked about it. We're like an open world game. Guys from Division 2, Massive Entertainment created it. I was like, excited. Planets. I was like, we didn't know what it was before Outlaws, right? Before they announced Outlaws, we thought it was like a Bad Batch game because they made Division 2. I was excited. They show this, and we're super excited. All of us were super excited. We're like, oh, man, this looks good. This looks good. And then they started showing more of it. And the passion behind the director, I was like, this looks good for a Star Wars game. It looks like they ripped it right out of the 1970s, filming process of episode 1 and 2, and also not episode 1 and 2, episodes 4 and 5, and then also 6, and this takes place between 5 and 6. So I was like, oh man, looks like they're gonna nail it. And then of course Ubisoft comes out, and the more they show, the more you're like, that doesn't look right. And we looked at the video on Monday. You guys can go check out that video. Or that stream, that live stream. And we did the breakdown of that last trailer, the 10-minute IGN video of it. And it looked so downgraded and so bad that I've speculated and said that I think they were rushed to get this out the door. One, it could be because of Disney. But whatever it is, it's starting to look worse, right? So they're getting a lot of criticism from a lot of people. So let's read what they're talking about here. It says, Star Wars Outlaws has been mixed reactions from fans so far. The game's early previews have met with mixed reactions, with the most critic expressing concerns over the Ubisoft's open world formula. Now, IGN also released a video earlier this month which gathered more dislikes than likes for poor visual effects, low frame rates, and more. However, it appears that the developers are still confident about the release and have no plans to delay the title. Why it matters. Ubisoft is one of the biggest publishers in the world, so fans always expect highly polished games from the team. It also has no budget constraints, so the lack of polish here is surprising. That I didn't know of, right? So there has been no budget constraints for this game, and yet for some reason it's not looking polished from the video that we saw. So as the latest video was met with criticism, the fans had so many issues with the footage. One analyst from America asked the team whether it planned to delay the game or title during its recent Q&A. Replying to the question, Ubisoft CFO Frederick said, confirmed that the game has already gone gold and the team has no plans to delay it further polish. Now, I've talked about this a little bit yesterday, and this is why Ubisoft does the Ubisoft Play and EA Play and Game Pass games, and it doesn't really matter because people have already pre-ordered this game. This game is coming out regardless or not, and even if you buy it or not, there's that $18 a month Ubisoft Plus, which they want you to go towards anyway, right? So they want you in for the long haul, okay? Now, a part of me, you can look at this and go, well, maybe this is a conspiracy, right? They want you to take the $18. They don't want you to buy the $70. They don't want you to buy the $110 or $130. They want you to get the $18 model because they want you in their ecosystem, because it's really hard to cancel and whatnot when you're playing any of these things. It's not just Ubisoft, right? It's any of these type of things. It's just really hard, and people forget. They do the monthly payment thing, and by the time they remember, or the time they get around to it, or it's just a little bit more inconvenient to end it, that's what they do. Okay? So they just want the $18. Now, obviously, there's going to be people that pay the $70. There's going to be people that pay $100. There's going to be people that pay $130. I mean, this is why NCAA football just had 2.2 million people buy it for $100. Okay? Because they know other people will not buy it, or they'll wait for it to come out on EA Play where they don't have to pay full price for it, or they'll wait for it to go on sale. Okay? So they don't need to polish it. They don't need to polish it because they know they'll make money down the road. They know they can have season passes and make it better. It comes back in the circuit. Remember, if a game is just perfect, it just works, then it comes out and people play it. Baldur's Gate 3 got praised because it was an outlier of all these other things that were happening in the industry. But if a game is good, then people talk about it for a very short period of time, and then it goes bye-bye. But if it's a live service game and they're making fixes and they're listening to people, then it comes back into the cycle. It comes back into the market. It comes back into the stuff where people are talking about it more and more. Okay? He says, so Ubisoft CFO further stated that the team will share more high-quality content soon to show the depth of the open world. He emphasizes that it will be the highlight, since Star Wars Outlaws is about exploring the galaxy, many planets, and the studio is also confident about the graphics and final product, stating that the quality of the final release will be quite high. So that's I guess, good, because what they showed there, and again, I don't know why you wouldn't show your best foot forward for the video. It says, while we remain to be seen how the title perform at launch, Ubisoft is moving swiftly ahead. Massive Entertainment has also seemed quite happy what it has achieved with the game so far. It seems that waiting for judging the game after release will be the best option. That's obviously always the best option. You know, when a game comes out, let people review it, let people play it, let people see it, and then make the choice. But again, best foot forward, that last video they showed from IGN didn't look very good. And if it's an early build, I don't know why you would show it. Okay, fans can also look forward to reviews arriving next month, giving them the even better idea of what to expect from the coming day. So there you go. They're staying tried and true to what they believe in, is that doesn't matter what we think or what a game looks like. Okay, they're going to release it, and then Plan B will kick in effect. When it doesn't do good, they'll be like, well, it's because there's misogynistic, racist people that don't want to play video games, and it has nothing to do with the quality of the game. That's Plan B. Plan A is show game, put it out there, and go, no, we're confident with the game, and they put it out there. And once they do, if it doesn't do well, then they go to Plan B. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. What do you think about Ubisoft with not delaying Star Wars Outlaws to polish it? Do you think it's a smart move? Do you think it's a good move? Do you think people are overblowing what they saw in the video? I mean, visual confirmation shows me that that game is not what it was when they first showed it last year. They did like a Watch Dogs thing, and I'm okay with the degrading graphics, right? I'm okay with the graphics becoming not as good, but there was a lot of problems in that video that we showed on Monday. But again, these are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and if you like what I do here, please make sure you check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. Kurt says, I hope Star Wars Outlaws proves me wrong. I want Star Wars. I want a new Star Wars. Come on, Kurt. 21 Rose. Come on, Kylo. Too bad them, because I'm getting 140, or my cousin is buying as my birthday, I should say. 30. But if you don't fix the VI season pass and expansions, how do you get the best ongoing game like Cyberpunk? That's true. Waterbear says, I've heard Cyberpunk is a great game now. I just have to take the time to go back. The first Ascent is grinding too fun. Travis says, funny thing is, my birthday still isn't till October, but my cousin, he said he'll pick it up early because of birthday cuz. Both love Star Wars games. I think they do it because, I mean, come on. Why do they need a way to get the best ongoing game? They fix it. I don't even think they're going for the best ongoing game. I think the business model for Ubisoft is just live service games. And again, they don't have to make the game good when it launches, because they already got your $70. You're already hyped for what Star Wars is. You're already hyped, and people paid the $100, $110, $130. Kylo says, don't worry, guys. It'll be a quadruple A game. New tagline for thumbnails. Fuck Plan B. Well, that goes into 2, right? Because yeah, we could do it. We could do it. Quad A. Bro, Cyberpunk is on another level. It's fantastic. Sarge is talking about it to me. He's selling me on it. But, you know, I'm a person that first impressions are everything. First impressions are everything for me. If you come out with a game and it looks buggy, broken, and unfinished, then that goes to the back. That goes to the back of the line. And then when I'm done with that line, okay, if I happen to see you and you're like, hey, you know what, I'll play it, or other things came out and cut the line in front of you because you already showed me that you weren't done yet. That's the problem I have, which is not really a problem. Okay, game comes out, I give you money, you give me product. Vandal says Ubisoft has been doing this since Watch Dogs 1. I don't know why folks are still acting surprised by a lesser presentation at launch. It's been doing this for years. Yeah, even Division 2, or actually Division. When they first showed Division, and then when Division came out, it was a much lower quality of stuff, and they fixed it over time again. So I think the difference between like a Division and a Watch Dogs, or a Division and Outlaws, is that Outlaws and Watch Dogs are single-player games, where Division was a multiplayer game to kind of give you more interest in it, right? You can kind of overlook some of the stuff. You're like, I'm not touching that because I'm playing the multiplayer aspect of it. But man, more and more games coming out that just don't look like we're in the next generation of games here. We're 4 years in, going 5 years in to this generation. And it's like, what's happening? Travis says Cyberpunk 2077 is finally what it promised it would be. And it's not like No Man's Sky level redemption. I think it is, though. I think it is. I think No Man's Sky, though, is more impressive because it's such a small studio. Kyle says, I don't get how people expect Ubisoft to make decent games in the time frame they pump them out. How big of the games are. It just makes no sense as how people expect greatness. I just think, Kylo, I personally don't care if a guy's on the side of the road working on the road or building a building. I don't care how long it takes. I just want the thing to be done. I don't want you to rush through it and then open it up and then shit starts to fall off and bad. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care how the pudding's made. I just want the pudding to be good. It's not my job as the customer to go, well, I expect them to give me a product. Whatever that product is, they have to give me a product that's finished. Z says, true on the line. I was lucky when Cyberpunk came out. It worked fine for me on PC, but I haven't missed anything with so many games to play. Kyle also continues to say, I didn't even add taking the Metro in Cyberpunk. I was happy about that. Although says, you know what I've been playing? Sudoku. Like an old man. How the graphics in Sudoku? We'll have to climb a tower to unlock the map in Outlaws? I don't know. Maybe. If I had at least 3 buddies I played Rivals with all the time, I'd check that out. Mo says the First Descendant got a great hotfix. Can't wait to farm for 75 needed that ultimate Vesicode. Got 2 energy activators and farming for 7 patterns. I heard they did the 1 minute cooldown now, right? So we can just go do that thing 1 minute. That's nice. That's nice. It's so strange how have games peaked. I don't know if they've peaked. Are we talking about from a graphical standpoint? Or are we talking about just like in general? From a graphical standpoint, I don't want to say we've peaked, but there is a roof. There is a ceiling, I should say. Graphically, not game-wise. Graphically, there is a ceiling. I feel like Ubisoft pumps games out way too quick to be good. Randall says almost all companies do this. PlayStation did it with the first Spider-Man, lesser product. True, at launch. I haven't done the towers to unlock a map in years, but okay. Amazing graphics, riveting gameplay. Always has interesting puzzles to solve. Unlimited first person, yeah, FPS or frames per second. Good old Sudoku. Hellblade 2 set the bar graphically. What about the that game Body Cam? I think that would be graphically better. I still think Star Wars Battlefront 2 set the bar graphically. That game is brilliant. And that came out in 2017. Dave Langer says, at this point, I don't care about the better graphics anymore. Give me better NPCs, better AI, things like that. I agree, Dave. I agree. Hellblade 2 looks good, but it's crap. Is it? Can you say it's crap though? Have you played it, Travis? I'm sure your next question would be, yeah, I played it at my cousin's house. I can't tell you if Hellblade 2 is shit because I've never played Hellblade 1 or 2. Graphically, it looks good. Yeah, Star Wars Battlefront 2 is a beautiful game. He says, speaking of art direction, there's better gameplay and AI. Has anyone got feedback on Dungeons of Hinterberg? I don't even know what that is. What is that? What is that? Oh, that's okay. That's this game. That's this like that art style we saw. Sort of like, what was that other that desert one that came out a couple years ago? Feels like the same type of drawn hand drawn art style type of stuff. I haven't heard much about this at all, Z. I haven't heard much about this at all. Red Dead 2 is still one of the best looking games. And that is last gen. Yeah. Yeah. Well, even Grand Theft Auto. And think about this. Grand Theft Auto 5 is one of the better games out there for graphically. And that came out on the 360. That came out on the 360. Red Dead came out on the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. And still, it's amazing. I don't need better graphics, but I do hate false advertising. Yeah. Like, don't show me the game on a PC with like a 4090 running like super graphics and shaders and stuff. And then when the game comes out for console, it looks like a 2D side scroller. And you're like, something looks off. Something looks off. That's right. Red Dead 2. And it's realistic horse balls. No one has done horse testicles better than Red Dead Redemption 2. Yeah, the Avatar game, I'll be honest, visually looking at it, it looks good. But game-wise, it seemed very lackluster. Again, I haven't played it. I'll just wait for it to come on the Game Pass and give it a shot. I just hope GTA 6 has a better controls. I think you're always going to get that third-person jankiness from them. I just think that's what you get. It's almost like the thumbprint for them, right? It's their identity of what Grand Theft Auto is. The gameplay and the control schemes have been the exact same through 3, San Andreas, Vice City, 4, 5. It's never changed. It's always felt third-person clunkiness. You know, like when you're running and then you hit the thumbstick the other direction, and he kind of does this like weird like turn. Just what it is. Mass Effect 2 was like 2 generations. Still beats any current. Yeah, it's like 14, 15 years old. It's up there. I'm telling you though, like Battlefront 2 graphically is just. We might play that again tonight. Because it's always double or triple XP on Wednesdays, right? We might play that tonight with Sarge, but that's always it's amazing. Here, let me go look up Mass Effect. Now, is this Mass Effect? That's the legendary stuff. I don't want legendary. I want the 14-year-old Mass Effect. All right. Like, this still holds up. Let me get into a bigger, right? Like, graphically, this still holds up. This is good. Now, again, we're talking graphically. Let me see if there's an actual. Right? And this came out in what, 2010, 2011, something like that? Right, but nothing beats, in my opinion, nothing beats this is Battlefront. This is Battlefront 1. This is 2015. This is 9 years ago. Okay. This is 9 years ago of Battlefront 1. This is not Battlefront 2. This is Battlefront 1. Right? Graphically, this is just top notch. Right? Then there's Battlefront 2. Which the graphics in Battlefront 2, this is all dark. Let me find one that's actually like, right? Then there's Battlefront 2. This is Battlefront 2 old, right? Then they show you the new one. Let me find a better just gameplay of 2 instead of this back and forth stuff. Yeah. So this is just Battlefront 2. Wait, is this Battlefront 2? Yeah, you're on this this is Battlefront 1, isn't it? No, I guess it is Battlefront 2. We just never play on this board. But look at the graphics, man. It's hard to get past this, and you look at the Star Wars game from Ubisoft, and you see some of the stuff that they're doing. And I understand it's Frostbite engine to Massive's engine, right? But like, it's like night and day. And this is 8 years old. Right? So graphically, I think we're close to hitting a ceiling. Yeah, 3 was the best. I did play 4 a lot. I all feel the same game with nothing new. Battlefield games always look amazing. It's just that engine, the Frostbite engine and stuff like that. With the photorealism. Good stuff. Oh, if they had a Galactic Conquest and Battlefront 2, it would be the chef's kiss. It would be the perfect game for at least me. That was Mass Effect 2 that I showed. That was Mass Effect 2. Yeah, that was Mass Effect 2 gameplay. In fairness, one is a military game, the other isn't. Military games always get big budget. What do you mean? Military games always get big budget. Want me to put Hellblade 2 up? Let me get into. Yeah, the graphics look fantastic. That's this year, right? We showed games like the Battlefield game is a decade old, right? To go from that to this hasn't gone that much. You see what I'm saying, Mo? It looks beautiful. And I'm sure this doesn't do any justice, right? Sitting in your house, looking at your television set, looking at it, probably looks amazing. I never played any of the Hellblades. Just not interested in it. Like some of these games just don't do it for me. Well, they won awards for the audio stuff in Hellblade. Hellblade 1, Hellblade 1's sound design pushed the whole industry forward the way what they did with it. Dave Langer says the gameplay is the worst part of Hellblade 2. I've always longed for an amazing looking game where it's stumbling around in the wilderness. Graphics mean nothing to me these days. All these pretty graphical games lack the substance for me. I agree with that, Jason. And this is why I'm not picking on Star Wars Outlaws because of graphically, right? Like that whole conversation is a bill of goods of that what they showed and what they're showing now is two different things, right? I don't care much about graphics, never have, right? One of my favorite games of all time is Minecraft, and that game, it doesn't have beautiful graphics, okay? It's about the gameplay, it's about the experience, about what you do in the actual game. There's games out there that don't need to have like these superior graphics over everything else. Now, if you like games like that, if people out there that like games because of graphics, cool, that gets you in the door, okay? But the gameplay is what keeps you playing. And if you're just playing a game and then you put it down, cool, right? I personally look for what is fun in a game, and not all games are fun to me, but gameplay is a huge part, right? Second is story, okay? Third is like graphics, okay? I wouldn't even put graphics third. Maybe sound and details and stuff like that, okay, is more important to me than graphics, personally. A lot of people like to pick on the graphics for games. That's not what graphics is what sells the game to go, oh, right? If you're an indie game, you like the art style of the game, but the graphics are not the biggest thing. Graphics are supposed to be enhance the experience when it comes to atmosphere, but gameplay still remains king. If the gameplay is trash, I'm not interested. Right. I can blur the vision. You know what I'm saying, Water? If I'm happy with the game, with the gameplay, it doesn't matter what it looks like. You know, Water, you're probably right. Sound is probably more is better at a higher thing than story, because you could play a game with no story and still have a Minecraft had no story in the beginning, right? So sound design is much up there, higher up there, I believe. I'll agree with you there. Gameplay to me is always first. Gameplay is always first for me. I can interchange story and sound and stuff like that. I would play Tecmo Bowl or NFL 2K5 over current Madden because the games are way more fun, and even Madden has better graphics. Legend Bowl, the 8-bit game or 16-bit game. Okay, this thing I've showed before. Right, we've played it on the channel. Okay, this game right here is more fun than Madden. This game right here is more fun than Madden. Has nothing to do with the graphics. It's all about the gameplay. The gameplay here is better than Madden. Okay? Because at the core, this game is just trying to be a good game. It has nothing to do with the graphics, right? It has nothing to do with the juke and how the impact of the stuff is happening. It has nothing to do with that. It's just pure and utter fun. I have Legend Bowl. The AI is better than Madden. Yeah. Water says, to be honest, the thing that makes NCAA 25 better than Madden is the atmosphere and sound. The college game is just way more fun. Nope, story is more important than gameplay. If the story is crap, the gameplay means absolutely nothing. No. I mean, that's you. I disagree. I can have a story that's okay, but if the gameplay is good or great, that takes the game up to a next level. If it has an awesome story and also shitty gameplay, that brings it down. Gameplay to me is always king. Story up there. I love story, though. What was that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game? It's called Splinter's Fate. It's on the Nintendo Switch and mobile. Minecraft has no story? No, there's a story mode now. There's a whole thing where you have to go kill the Ender Dragon and whatnot. There's a story there. It's not a traditional story, though. Go on, Quintor. Mario doesn't need a story. It always has always been a fun gameplay. It's all that matters. Right. That's why I say gameplay is king. What's your take, 30, on what the comment was? Am I wrong, or do you think it's true? For what, Winzo? I didn't even see what you said. Okay, let me go up. Point 30, I agree. Gamers now always are all about graphics, and this is why the companies now keep using these budgets, and it won't sustain, and we then pay for it with higher game costs. I don't think the graphics is what makes the game costs go up. I don't think so. Because there's games out there that have better graphics that are still independent games. Like, what's Body Cam? Is Body Cam a $70 game? I'm not sure. Right? Battlefront, when it came out, was just a $60 game. $60 game. Right? I think that the gaming industry uses it as a, well, look at these graphics. This is why it costs so much. And I think that's bullshit. If graphics don't matter, then why do they make and sell graphic cards? Well, the question you're asking, Ron, is different than me. I don't care about graphics. Obviously, the company wants to push graphics so they can sell you stuff. That's why graphic cards are out there, right? But I would take a game, and again, I'm personally talking to about myself. Gameplay is king for me, right? I didn't say graphics don't mean shit to everybody. I said the graphics don't mean anything to me. I said gameplay is king. Obviously, there's graphic cards there because people also put the wrong HDMI cables in, and they also don't plug their internet cables in, but they're there. Okay, but if the story is crap, then you can't. You wouldn't play the story. It's a Gay Dinosaur High School, regardless of gameplay. 30. Well, no, then it breaks down. If you're talking about the high school, whatever, end of world thing, if a game looks good or doesn't look good and the gameplay is good, if I'm not interested in what that is, then it's not for me. It might be for someone else. Again, when I'm talking about gameplay, I'm talking about, for me, gameplay is king. I'm not speaking for like the entire world. All about them licensing for music and voice actors that drive the budget up. Why did Spider-Man cost $300 million? Crazy. I think it cost $300 million because, well, one, they want to try to make the $70 price tag. Okay. Two, they want to motion capture. It's literally a movie and not really a video game, right? Press X when you're in a fight like that. It's like cutscenes. So it's a lot more time inside the motion capture studio and whatnot. Voice actors, lots of different cast and crew. Or not crew, cast. Windsor says, maybe that's a better take then on it. I just get really annoyed with it because that all the gamers talk about is the fanboys. It's like they act like there's a side of the company than real gamers. If gameplay loot gets me, I'm in. Licensing was a huge chunk of its cost. Yeah, but the licensing... Oh, right, because they don't own Marvel. Right? If Disney made that, then they would be okay. But because Sony owns the rights to Spider-Man but doesn't own the rights to it in video game format, then they're paying much on the license. Yeah, that would make sense. I'm saying if the same plot was a third-person Mass Effect level game, you still wouldn't play it because it's a crap story. That's not true. It would all depend on what the gameplay is. Gameplay and story. I don't like Mass Effect 1 as much as I like Mass Effect 2 because the gameplay in Mass Effect 1 was a little clunky. The story of Mass Effect 1 was fantastic. But I don't like Mass Effect 1 as much as Mass Effect 2 because the gameplay and story was better in Mass Effect 2. I know, just saying that I think gameplay is good, but you can't save a bad story. Great story can save mid gameplay. Well, Suicide Squad had good gameplay, and it also had a good story. It didn't have a great story, it had a good story. That game bombed from the start. Jason or Travis says, Jason, do you do know that the woman was in a car crash, and instead of replacing her, they kept the same model as they should? Well, that goes into a completely different conversation, right? Because then there's certain characters they switch from the model, and then there's the ones that they keep in the model. Right, and that's true also, Jason. Right? It's not our problem. I don't believe that you would ever play the Gay Dinosaur High School, no matter what gameplay it has, if fractured, but also whole, if you still wouldn't play it. Again, the play the Gay Dinosaur High School game doesn't appeal to me, so I would never play that if it had great gameplay or graphics or not. I haven't played Cyberpunk 2077. If I'm not interested in the game, it doesn't matter what the fucking graphics are or the gameplay is. I'm not interested in that game. If I'm interested in a game, and I play that game, and that gameplay is good, then I would play that game. Then, if the story's good, then it would be a good story. I would still play the game if I was interested in it. There's levels to this, Travis. It's not just, game's got good gameplay, I play it. No, it's, I would look at it and go, is that my type of game? If I'm not an RPG kind of guy, or if I'm not a top-down type of person, then I wouldn't even bother with those types of games. They felt the itch at all to dive back into No Man's Sky's newest update. Yeah, we were going to play it last night. We were going to play it last night, but the update didn't come out for Xbox yesterday. For whatever reason, a tweet came out and said it's all out for all platforms, but it wasn't out for Xbox. Yeah, we were going to go back in. But now, usually on Wednesdays, I play Shooting the Shit with Sarge. So we probably won't play it tonight. So it then gets pushed back to like maybe this weekend or maybe next Monday. Right, because it doesn't appeal to you because of story plot doesn't interest you. No, that's not why it interests me. It has nothing to do with the story plot. I look at it and go, that's not for me. Ron Slusher says it's like food. If you hate vegetables, but everyone says it's good, it still probably won't like them. Right. No Man's Sky, everybody loves it, but they just don't have no interest. Yeah, and that's just it. Some things just don't appeal to you. That's what I'm gonna do, Dave. I'm just going back in to do the expedition type of stuff. I wasn't gonna start a brand new thing, and I think they changed it now where you can use your old character in the expedition, or no, you still have to start over. You can go into the thing though, into the space station, and then start the expedition, and then it starts a character fresh. But then once you're done with it, then it goes back into your main character or whatever. Yeah, because I hate doing the whole same thing over and over with No Man's Sky. It's like, all right, your ship's broke. All right, get the pieces. I want to skip that. Quintar says, most of the time, I don't even care about the story if the gameplay is awesome. Right. That's why I say gameplay is king. Because of a game... Perfect thing. Helldivers. Helldivers 2 really doesn't have a story, right? You're a guy in the thing, and you're blowing up stuff, and it progresses the story. But you're not playing that game for the story. You're playing it because the gameplay is fucking fun. Z says, chat. Oh my God, living with absolutes. Relax. People don't work that way. We have games that we play and won't fit our usual opinions. Exactly. It's not just black and white of, well, you're never going to play that game because it doesn't have... No, it has nothing to do with that. There's games that interest me and there's games that don't interest me. And that varies. It varies on why games interest me and why they don't interest me. Winslow says, no, it's off topic. They might not know anything about it, but did you see that the wrestling WWE wrestler Liv Morgan was wearing, and now many likes and views have gotten it on Twitter, YouTube, etc.? I have no idea what you're talking about. Like, zero. I have no idea what you're even referencing. Nate says, Quintar, that's how I feel about the TFD. I didn't know nothing more. That's the Iron Heart. I skipped a lot of the talking. Yeah, it's like Aviva Dirt, right? Where they're like, skip, 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 skip. Yeah, a lot of people play Fallout 4, 3, 4, Skyrim. They run up, they go, bop, 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 bop. They don't even care about the story. They see the marker on the thing, and they run to the next thing. They don't care. They don't care about the story. East Vandal says, I've been playing Dead Cells for over 3 years, and I have no idea what the story is about. Gameplay, baby. See, every time I play a game, gameplay is cool. If there's story there, I like it better, right? It goes up. It's like here, right? And then all of a sudden, now story's there, and I'm like, here, right? This is like the base level of the game, and I'm like, gameplay, story, sound, right? And then it gets better and better as it goes. Some games I care about the story, some games I don't, but I always care about gameplay. I'll do that later. Isn't there a stat out there that says most people are skip happy? Well, we know that less than, 30% of people actually finish a game. It's like less than 50% finish a game. 30% actually like finish all the way through or something like that. Or it's a crazy stat. Most people don't finish games. And I'm assuming most people don't even... You play a game like Final Fantasy, like online, or World of Warcraft, or Ultima Online, or Elder Scrolls, whatever. Skip, 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 skip. They don't care. Marker on the map, run to the map, complete the thing, do the next thing, get the loot. They don't care. They don't care about the story. Majority of people don't care about the story. Care about gameplay, though. Care about gameplay. That's why a lot of people don't like games like Last of Us. I know people are like, well, a lot of people like it. Yeah. God of War, Last of Us, Uncharted, Tomb Raider. Lots of people, more people don't like those games than do like those games because they call them like movie games. And they don't like that. They want gameplay. They want things that keep them entertained with not just a walk up here, press A. You're in a fight now. Every once in a while, hit X, right? A lot of people don't like that. They like gameplay. Hence why they like games like Dark Souls or Sekiro or Elden Ring, where the gameplay. They want to hack and slash. They play MMOs and stuff, not for the story, but they play it for the gameplay. And there's nothing wrong with movie games. There's nothing wrong with movie games. I'm just saying lots of people don't like doing that. Windsor says, yeah, for me, it's I'm bad for that. I never want to play a game that just even, there's always something new and exciting I want to play. In the last game I was playing, I get lost in. This is my problem with when I play games, Winzo. Like if I jump into a game like Cyberpunk, I can't just play Cyberpunk for like a day and then put it down and move on to another game. I gotta like dive into Cyberpunk. So that's why Cyberpunk gets pushed back and pushed back and pushed back, because something else comes along that hooks me on day one, that has good gameplay, good story, good sound design. I'll start playing that game and I'm interested in that game. And then it's like a comfy pair of shoes. Like, for instance, Fallout 76, I like it, so I go back to it when they do updates and whatnot, and that's my main game so far in 2024. But Cyberpunk, even as good as it is, it wasn't good when it came out, so it got pushed back. And then it comes up closer and closer. I'm like, oh, maybe I'll play it. And then all of a sudden something else comes out. I'm like, oh, nope. It gets pushed back again. Last of Us is a dumbed down survival game. The gameplay mechanics are mid as F. Kurt Mason says, I don't skip. I want to know what's going on. I look at Elden Ring's story. I want to know what's going on. Machiavelli says, who a lot of people that objective? Who a lot of people that are objective? What do you mean, Machiavelli? So sick of these rail QTE moments. They're also common in games. Yeah, where you think you have choice, but you really don't have a choice, Jason. Langer says, God of War, Uncharted have tons of gameplay and barely have any QTE. Yeah, but those games also fall into, Langer, even, what's the game like, I'm trying to think, like, Assassin's Creed games are a lot like this as well, right? There's a lot of downtime. A lot of people don't like a lot of downtime. So God of War, especially Ragnarok, or not Ragnarok, the first one, God of War 2018 one. When you play that game, it's very linear in certain parts, and then it opens up into open, sort of like the last Gears was, open area, and then it becomes like, what am I doing? And a lot of people don't like that type of stuff. And then when you're fighting, it's like, guy fights you, and then all of a sudden in the middle of the battle, it's quick, press X, right? And then it goes back, and then you're hacking, slashing, and then all of a sudden it comes again, and you hit Y. Same with Spider-Man. People don't like that type of stuff. They want everything. There's people out there that no matter what they do, they want whatever they're doing on the input of the controller is what it's happening on the actual screen, not waiting. I like the beginning of Spider-Man 2 with Sandman for eye candy. Game was just hand holding the whole time. I didn't play it, so I don't know. One day I'll play it. Am I going to play Suicide Squad Season 2? I'm going to try it and show you guys what the character is, but I'll be honest, I'm not looking forward to it. I'm not looking forward to it. But we covered it, so I want to see how long it takes to get the character, and then I want to see if the character, if Karen Frost is it good. Now, regardless if she's good or not, it's not going to keep me there. It's like my mother making me do homework when I was a kid. Be like, you gotta do your homework. I'm like, God, do I have to? Clean your room. I don't want to. Right? You're not looking forward to Karen Freeze? I want to talk to your manager. Yeah, Suicide Squad's not very but whatever, I got my money's worth out of it. I don't ever have to touch it again. All right, let's go to the next story. Ultron says, "Oh, come on, 30. Aren't you hyped to kill yet another Superman boss fight?" What did I say when that game, before it even came out? I said if they just continue to make the same bosses over and over, I was like, that's gonna suck. And that's what they've done. But wait, Altern, maybe I'll fight Superman and Green Lantern Brainiac clones at the same time. Like, it is fun. When you're playing Suicide Squad and you're using Joker, and you use the jump mechanic or the boost of the rocket umbrella, and he jumps up in the air, like, the gameplay is fun. The gameplay was fun for over 100 hours for me. But the story, and here's Suicide Squad is the perfect example, right? I'm interested in the story. The story was good for the main campaign. Wasn't great. It was good. I know people hated it because, they killed off whatever, okay? Even though those people aren't actually dead and you're going to get them back, okay? But when Joker's season came out, they did no story. It was like a 2-minute video in the beginning of an animated thing, and that was it. And you were doing the exact same thing you did, just add a new character, do the same thing, right? And the gameplay is fun, and the story was good. But then they came out with season 1, and their gameplay is the same, and there's no more story. So I'm like, well, what am I doing? Right? And then now this comes out, add yet another character. Gameplay could be fun with the new character, but the story is not there. So it's like, why do I care? Why do I care to keep playing? I don't want to keep playing the same game that I played before. Now it's just a new character. I commend you for going back to the game. I mean, I would be lying to say I didn't like the game. I like Suicide Squad's gameplay. I like the main story. I would prefer if they kept continuing on to add to that story, but yet they have not so far. If they can't find another if they can find another Joker, why can't they find another Mr. Freeze? Well, maybe they killed him off. I don't know. I don't know. You put a clip. My girlfriend, when she knew I was the one. Me? I love you, Sloth. The whole Joker and Harley thing killed it for me. I enjoyed the gameplay, but that's it. Right. And this is the entire point of the whole conversation we had in the very beginning, Quintar, right? Gameplay, right? Gameplay. And then you add story. Gameplay to me is number one. I played the game. I enjoyed the game. Stories on top of that. It was pretty good. And then they screwed it up. And I'm like, nah, I'm good. All right. Let's go on to the next topic. If you guys like what I do here, we do these conversations. We bring up stories. We have conversations back and forth with chat Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning to about noon Eastern. We go over noon most of the time. And we just chat. We just have conversation, trying to get you past a couple hours of your day of boredom in your life, if you're at work or you're home or whatever. I appreciate you coming in and hanging out with us for a bit. So Xbox is reportedly exploring more new Game Pass tiers. Okay, now we've talked about this in the past as well. We talked about the ad tier that they could be putting in and why they could put it in, right? Well, obviously they're make the problem, sell the solution type of thing. Kurt says, 30, what game that still sticks in your mind? What's your most memorable games? Just off the top of my head, memorable games. Mario. Original Mario from 1984. King Griffey Jr. Baseball sticks in my head. SOCOM sticks in my head. Mass Effect 2, Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2. Battlefront, like the original Battlefront. Those games just spitballing, like stick in my head. Like when I think of something, Battlefield Bad Company 2. Those games make an impression in my brain. So like no matter what happens, boom, they're always there. And there's just thousands and thousands of other games that just they're good, they were fun, but they just didn't make a notch in my skull. You know what I mean? All right. So Xbox reportedly exploring new Game Pass tiers. Now we talked about the ad revenue one that they were going to implement, and like I said just before, make the problem, sell the solution, right? So right now in the gaming sphere, before I even read this, what they've done so far now with pre-orders is that they've released games on Tuesdays and whatever not, but now they push them to Friday, and they charge you an extra $30 to get 3-day early access or 5-day early access, and they're charging 1/3 of the price of the game, or 1/2 of the price of the game, or just less than half of the price of the game for 3-day early access and whatnot, right? Make the problem, sell the solution. They make the day one release is on this day, but if you want it, you got to pay an extra $30. So if they add an ad revenue section into Game Pass tier, okay, which I'm assuming that they're going to talk about here, okay, is that make a problem. If they make an ad tier and it's the cheapest version, but you have to watch an ad every time you do something, then that would push you to, I don't want to watch ads, and you would move to the next tier, right? Well, if you move up to the next tier, and the next tier still doesn't get you day and date, well, then you would pay the extra fee to get the day and date, which is if $15 doesn't get you on the standard, but $20 does, that's an extra $5, right? And they try to push you up. Make the problem, sell you a solution, and that's what they try to do. So according to Windows Central sources, these include cloud-only and ad support tiers and potentially the return of family subscription option, which we talked about a couple months ago, about if they raise the price, and we just talked about it a couple weeks ago as well, where if they raise it to like $25 or $30 for the family plan. Microsoft is reportedly working towards a cloud-only Game Pass tier, which is relatively cheap, as accessible as users would need to own a console. This is where you're talking about your get it for your Amazon Fire Stick, your Samsung television set, whatever else they're coming out with. That would be the lowest tier possible, would just be the cloud, and we'll see what happens there. Okay, it's also claimed that the subscribers to this tier would also be able to purchase digital games, which would then tie in with the Microsoft plan that lets players stream titles they own through Xbox Cloud Gaming. Okay, now, as a person that has Ultimate, okay, and I've had Ultimate for years, okay, I've used all of these things. I've used cloud gaming. I've played games that I've owned, right? They're making more and more selection of the games that you own, where you can play them anywhere on the cloud. You can play them on the device. You can play them whatever. You can play it, because you own it, okay? It's also claimed that subscribers tier would also be able to purchase the digital games or the cloud gaming. Microsoft Central also claimed that you also heard very tentatively rumors that Xbox Game Pass Friends and Family plan could return in some type of form. Okay, testing the family membership, which allowed 5 people to access a single subscription for $25, a price reportedly considered to be too generous by publishers, took place across 8 countries between the summers of 2022 and 2023. And while Microsoft previously said it was exploring the possibilities of offering access to Game Pass in exchange for viewing advertisements, Windows Central claimed that the company isn't currently actively working towards an ad-based subscription tier yet, right? Because they got to figure out what would work. So earlier this month, Microsoft raised Xbox Game Pass price and announced plans to introduce a new standard subscription tier that doesn't include day one releases. And Modern Warfare 3 will reportedly join Game Pass for console and PC this week, while Black Ops 6 will be the first Call of Duty game title to launch on subscription service day one when it releases on October 25th, 2024. So, obviously, if you go back to, and I know none of you guys will do this, but they're there on our Generation X Gaming podcast that we've done. We've done 402 episodes over the last 10 years. Back in like 2018, 19, when we were talking about what consoles they were coming out with for Xbox and PlayStation and whatnot for the last generation, when they were called the Anaconda and Lockhart and all that stuff, I said that Game Pass is their thing going forward. Less and less would they go towards console. I said they would go more towards cloud gaming. I've said all of these things way back when in those things, and I have video evidence and proof of me saying this. This is not a just a thought process of putting it out there. It was reading the dots they were laying down, the breadcrumbs that they were laying down. And here we are in 2024, that Game Pass has always been the thing. Has always been the thing. They haven't changed their model. This is what they were doing way back when, before the current gen came out. They were doing that with the Xbox One, Xbox One X, Xbox One S, whatever they, when they were doing the digital format, and then they moved over to this generation. And they pushed it more, but they know they couldn't get the sales, so then they had to start making different avenues, right? Which was when I talked about it years ago, that they would make a dongle. And then about 2 years, 3 years later, we saw that Phil Spencer had an interview with a dongle behind him, and he talked about it and said, we just haven't had the price point yet. And now they teamed up with Amazon, with the Amazon Fire Stick, to then push that forward with the dongle in the back of the television set. They've done Samsung, where they now dealt with them. If they do with that LG TV, maybe LG company, which is the second or third largest company in the world for television sets, they could get into with them, or they just go around them with the dongle. These are all things. Now they're trying to, okay, now we've laid the foundation. We have Game Pass. We made the stuff. Well, why would people come to Game Pass? Well, they would come to Game Pass to play the newest games. Well, the newest games are coming out once every like 3 months for the first party titles. It's not enough, right? Because you're paying $20 for Ultimate for day and date, but you're only getting a certain amount of games that come out. If it's 4 games, 5 games a year, and the average person buys 3 to 4 games a year, which would counter. Now, on top of that, for Game Pass, they're like, well, this is how many games the average person buys. That's what you get for Game Pass all year. But we're also giving you all these other third-party games that come out. But the only way you can get that is on the Ultimate. So they have to make the lower tiers worse, so the higher tier looks better, right? The exact same thing that we talked about Ubisoft earlier in the show. When we talked about Ubisoft doesn't want you to pay the $70 for Outlaws or Shadows, okay? They don't want you to pay the $110 or $130. They know people will, and that will counter off the people that don't. But they want to try to skew you towards that $18 a month. So you pay a monthly fee, you forget about the payment, and then 7 months later, they've made more money off of you than they would have made it off the average person. So now Game Pass, if they add this ad tier stuff, that just drives you, right? Like I have YouTube Premium because I don't want to see ads. Okay, I watched ads after ads after ads, and I was tired of it. And I went, you know what? I'll pay the money. That's what they do. They hit you and nickel and dime you with your patience of going, I don't want to sit there and watch a commercial, okay, or another ad. So you pay the fee. So if they add this tier, I'm not saying they are, but if they add this tier, it would push people up the ladder of the tier, right, to go to standard. Now let's look at what they do in the industry now with the extra money up front to get 3 days early access. Okay, Starfield, $100 game. Okay, it's a $100 game because if you wanted to get it 3-day early access, you have to pay $100 to get it. And we know that 2.4 million people bought it between PC, I think, and Xbox. We're not really too sure about the Xbox one, right? But 2 million people we know definitely bought it on PC at a $100 value. Well, if they had Ultimate, okay, and it's day and date now that they've changed it, where day and date is on the higher tier, okay, you're only paying an extra $5, okay, for that one game to get it extra, right? You're paying $5 to get it early access instead of paying the additional $30 for early access. And then they keep you in the ecosystem because if you're done playing that game, there's still these other games that you can go play inside of Game Pass, right? So if you look at this and go, well, they're charging now $30 extra for 3 days early access or 5 days early access, and they're making that money. Well, technically, you could have paid for 1 month, maybe 2 months of Game Pass. That's if you're playing on day one. If you don't want to play day one because your back catalog is so, then you just get standard, and you'll still get to play the new games. They just don't come out day and date. They come out maybe we don't know what they come out yet because we haven't been there yet, right? But maybe they come out like a month later. Is that a bad deal? I don't know. You're paying $5 less, right? Or you pay that extra $30 to get early access, or you pay the $5 extra for the Game Pass top tier, Ultimate, to get day and date. All of this is planned, right, to move you up that ladder. If they added ad tier, if they added regular standard tier, they put the Ultimate tier, they put the family plan tier. It's all there to push you over. Just like when you go to the store, look at a television set, and you look at the 42-inch TV, and maybe it's like $300, and you're like, well, there's a 50-inch right there, and that's only $400. Then you like go up to the, right? Well, for just $200 extra, right? For $200 extra, I can get a 60-inch television set, right? And they plan it that way on purpose, right? Because they don't really want you to buy the 42 or the 50-inch. They want you to buy the 60-inch television set for that price point because they're making the most money off of that. That is what they're doing here with Game Pass. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. What do you think if they add this ad tier or this family plan tier? Let me know in the comment section down below. Do you think it's too much? Do you think it's a little too, Xbox is done. They're never going to make it past this. Or do you think, well, yeah, that sounds about right, that they're trying to make the problem and sell the solution? Let me know in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe. And if you like what I do here, please check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. All right, Modern Warfare 3 considered terrible COD. Why are Xbots so excited? Because they don't have to pay for it. They don't have to pay full price for it. I don't know what to tell you, Ron. I haven't played a Modern Warfare game or a Call of Duty game in over a decade. 2009 is the last time I purchased it. I can play the story now. That's about it. They're excited because they can say they have something ponies don't have. That's about it. Kurt Mason says, I have enjoyed most of COD's campaigns, some better than others, about PvP. Dolphin says, yeah, I just looked it up. Netflix is taking away the mid-tier option, forcing people to upgrade or downgrade for more ads. Right. Make the problem, sell the solution, Dolphin. My son played like 4 different games on Game Pass this past weekend. Parents will slowly realize that Game Pass is great for kids. And that's one of the main reasons I have it for mine. Like right now, he's playing No Man's Sky. Then he's playing Flight Simulator. Then he's playing Party Animals. And then he's playing, like, I play a game and I play a game. He plays a game for like 10 minutes, 1 hour, 5 hours, 10 hours, whatever it is. And he just constantly swaps, right? It's definitely worth the money. Ron Slusher says, I love ads. Wish my sex life had ads. Well, they can. You could just stop doing what you're doing and in that moment be like, this is brought to you by Latex. It would be weird, though, to talk to your significant other that way. Like, pause for a second. This is brought to you by this 10-second break is brought to you by latex condoms, right? And you start talking, I don't know. It'd be a little weird, but you could do it. I like Game Pass, but I have to see people's gripes. I like Game Pass, but I can see people's gripes. What gripes are they? What gripes are they saying? What are you hearing? I always have Ultimate Game Pass, but now it's for my daughter since I went back to PlayStation 5. Oh, it says they're going to stay giving out the taste of a standard tier. They are going to stay giving out a taste. So you think the standard tier, is going to have like a trial type of thing? Is that what you think, Mo? I think what they could do with the standard is that if Ultimate comes out day and date, and standard comes out 2 weeks later, you know what I mean? You're really just going on the FOMO of people. There's no difference what they're doing right now with Starfield coming out $70, but if you want to play a 3-day early access, it's $100. So if they come out on Ultimate and say day and date with these games, but if you have a standard, it's a week later, is that bad? Again, I don't know what they're doing. They haven't really said how far out it comes out on standard. Well, that would make sense why no one's coming into the stream. People that we've seen multiple times, like throughout the weeks, it's not showing a clips. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, what I can tell you is Monday through Thursday, 10 o'clock in the morning, Eastern Standard Time, I am live. So regardless if YouTube tells you I'm live or not, Monday through Thursday, 10 o'clock in the morning, I will be live, unless said otherwise. They're going to be like, here's a demo. At the end of the demo, it'll say, play Day 1 Game Pass Ultimate. If they do that, I think that's fine. My 6-year-old will beg me to download a game 3 minutes. They'll come up to me and ask to play something else. Right. It's worth that alone. The gripe is that the Xbox is going to keep pushing the day and date price up. Well, here's the thing. If I buy a game day one, right now, it's no longer $70. Because they've now taken the date that it comes out, they've pushed it back 3, 4, 5 days, and the new early access date, which is now day and date, okay, is $100. You see what I'm saying? If you want to play this game early, you got to pay $100 or $110 on certain games. Or you just wait for 3 days and then you get it for the 70. Right? So if people are upset with Game Pass tier going up, then they should be upset about the pre-order going up. Good Papa says, Kurt, that Sony is doing the same thing and less features on the PlayStation Plus. Well, I would even say that Xbox is even more justified to do it on Ultimate because of PlayStation has a service, Ubisoft has a service, EA has a service. All of them have a service, and they're trying to make their service better than other services, so that's why they get to charge a little bit more. And if you think about it, if you get Ubisoft Plus or EA Play Plus, whatever the top tier is, you're paying just shy of what Xbox is charging. Okay, it's 18, I think 15 or 17, 18 for those other services, and Game Pass is charging you 20, and you're getting the games day and date, where the other ones you don't. You're only getting their games. Kyle says, I'm done with the monthly services. I'm getting out of hand everywhere. Well, this is why you can't have all services. Like, we got rid of a couple things. Like, we have Amazon Prime. We're getting rid of Netflix. We're getting rid of Disney Plus, right? And only getting it when certain things, like you wait a couple months, then download it, and then watch a bunch of stuff, right? As far as the television stuff goes. For gaming services, I only have the one. I only have Game Pass. That's it. I'm not getting PlayStation Plus, Amazon Luna. I'm not getting all of these other gaming services. Dolphin says, let it be known, I'll pay full price for a game for him and learn a valuable lesson. To be honest, at children or goldfish. Oh, yeah. Yeah, if you spend... we bought the Sonic... No, was it Sonic or was it the Mario game? I forget what it was. And I told my son, I said, if we buy this, right, you have to beat this before you get your next game. He's like, okay. And he did exactly that. He took his time. It was like a month and a half, 2 months. I think it was a Sonic game or Sonic Frontiers, or if it was a Kirby Forgotten Island, I think it was. He took his time and beat it, and now he's done. He's like, can I have, I would like this game. Like, there's certain games he wants to own, and there are other games he'll just try. It says, Magic, that's my daughter. Had me buy GTA 5 and played it once to play Minecraft or Robo, RDO, because she loves horses. Right, and this is why even kids are being conditioned with the phones and the tablets and stuff, with TikTok and Twitter and all these other things. It's just that's how they do games. My son literally plays 4 or 5 games a day within like a 2-hour span. We'll play one game and switch, and then go to this game, and then go to that game, and go to this game. It's like, I'll like go in the kitchen. I'll come out. I was like, weren't you just playing Forza? He's like, oh yeah, I was playing that earlier. And then I go back in the kitchen to grab something else. I come back out, he's playing something else. I'm like, Jesus, did you even do anything in the other game? Like, did a donut? Like, what did you do? I got EA Play to try college football for $5.99. But the pre-order is only once. If you compare that in paying monthly or more tiers or whatever, you really can't compare to pre-order a pre-order to one time to a monthly fee you pay over time, though. Sure you can. Sure you can, Water. What about if I only get Game Pass for 1 month? Right? For 1 month, I pay $20, and day and date, I can get that game, and I've paid 1/3 of the cost. I have 400 other games I can play as well once that month is over, right? Or during that month, if I'm done playing that game or not, right? If I pay for a pre-order game, most people pay 3 to 4 games. Okay. Now, if you're one of those people that get one of those games, 3-day early access, okay, you're paying $100. So if you get 3 to 4 games, it's $400. $400. Okay, for 3 or 4 games, early access, right? All right. Well, if I pay $20 a month times 12, that's $240. And I get day and date. I'm almost paying half the price that you're paying for the games that are day and date. Okay, again, there's different scenarios because certain games are not on certain platforms. But if it's a third-party game and they make a deal, it's on Game Pass, I get day and date. If it's a first-party title on Xbox, I get day and date, right? So it's a win 100%. Right. And then the games that are on EA Play, they give you a 10... If you have Ultimate, you get 10 hours for certain games on EA. Okay? So if you want to play Madden or you want to play certain things, you have certain... Like Battlefield, thank God they gave me 10 hours. Right? Because someone actually paid $125 for that game. I feel sorry for them. They got robbed at gunpoint. Okay? And they liked it. Come on, who gets Game Pass for 1 month, though? Well, you can't buy it yearly. I think you can only buy it in like 3-month intervals, if I'm not mistaken. But even if you buy it for the entire year, Water, you're still saving money. You get 10 hours for college football? Do you? I don't know if you do. I would have to go on and check. Because I know they did that for Battlefront, and they did it for other games. So you would rather pay, right? If you play Starfield, did you buy Starfield? And did you pay $100 for Starfield? Right? If you did, that's $100. Okay? Well, that's 5 months of Game Pass. Right now. It wasn't 5 months of Game Pass. It was more than that before. Now it's 5 months of Game Pass. I've never had Game Pass for a whole year. I always get it for 1 month. I might be 1 month 6 times, but I think it's I've ever paid for 2 months for Game Pass in a row. Right? They actually do it on purpose because they don't want to give you a discount on Game Pass. If you buy it 3 months, you get like $5 off. They don't want that. I can't stand having so many subs. I usually just buy the game I want. And I do that as well, right? Like, I own Minecraft Dungeons. It's on Game Pass. I own Sea of Thieves. It's on Game Pass. Yeah, but even if you're not even playing multiple genres, even if you only play the first-party games, like what's coming out this year? I might have to look it up. Is this all the games? Is there a list of games that are coming out this year? Game Pass games list of July. All confirmed games, Xbox games coming out in 2024. Now, I want a visual. Well, here. You don't even need a visual, right? Like a whole list. Look at this. You might not be interested in some of these games. Maybe all these games are not for you. But to say that the value is not there is crazy, right? Creatures of Ava comes out, the day and date, okay? SOPA, Star Trucker, Age of Mythology, Stalker 2, Frostpunk 2, True Lies, Flight Simulator 24, Bounty Star, okay? Avowed, Era of History Untold, right? All You Need Is Help, right? Replaced announced trailer, Pigeon Simulator, Ghost Bike, Indiana Jones, 33 Immortals, Dead State Drive. What is that? Oh, I want to look at that up. Powerborn, right? Sniper, Ghostwire, okay? Altern, Ark, Winter Boar, Citizen Sleeper, Sleight of Hand, South of Midnight. I don't know if that comes out in 2005. Fable, right? There's so many games that are coming out that, sure, you're not interested in all these games, but to say that it's not worth it is not being disingenuous. You know what I mean? What is this game? This reminds me like a Demolition Derby or something. What is this? Why are the graphics so shitty? Let me go to YouTube and watch this in actual form. What is this? Like Project Zomboid or something. That's the longest gas pump ever. What is that? I didn't even know what that is. Mo says, I got 1 year for 120. Yeah, I don't know what that was, but that was pretty cool. Eric says, I checked that vid. It's like from 4 years ago. Well, supposedly it comes out in 2024. I don't know. Spent almost a decade in development for that game that we just saw. A decade. I'm trying to see if there's a list of... Is that updated? I don't think that's updated. So many years old. I'm trying to find an updated picture. Just a picture of games that are coming out in 2024. Game of a Game Pass this year, 2024. Right? Like, here you go. Again, we don't know exactly when they're coming out, but all of these games are either out or coming out. Okay, that's 3, 6, 9, 10. That's 40 games. There's 40 games coming onto Game Pass. Like, and obviously, out of these games, here's the games I'm interested in. Okay, that I would play. I played Lightyear Frontier, so that's 1. Okay. We played City Skylines 2, we'll play. That's 2. Okay. We got... Where is it? 33 Immortals, I'll play. Avowed, I'll play. That's 4 games. Okay. What else we got here? Flight Sim, that's 5 games. Towerborn, that's 6 games. And then the game that's not even on here, Indiana Jones, which is not on this list. That's 6 games, right? So I got 6 games that I would pay full price for that I don't have to pay full price for anymore. And that's just on this particular list. Yeah. This game, well, they don't even have Indiana Jones on here. I didn't say it was official. I'm saying that that's about the games because most of those games are already out on Game Pass. Those are also not created by Microsoft themselves. These are fan made. They take the pictures and they put them all together. Right? Then if you have the games sort of like that come out not day and date, but just launch on the thing after the fact. Like if you're maybe Cyberpunk comes down the line, maybe they pay them big money. Maybe Baldur's Gate 3 gets put on there, right? Diablo 4 wasn't on that list, and Diablo 4 is on Game Pass now, right? So there's lots of games that are third party that might come to Game Pass down the road, and there's other games that are first party that weren't on that list because they're on there now. Stalker 2 has been delayed so many times. I'm not even interested in Stalker 2, so... I don't even think... Was Power World on that list? I don't even think Power World was on that list. No, Power World's not on that list that we just showed. So there's... That was just 40 games, and that wasn't even all the games, right? There's way more games that weren't on that list. I didn't. What's the new class coming to Diablo? I have bought games on Xbox with Ultimate Discount. It's a good deal altogether. That's a whole nother thing as well. I think you can say that with PlayStation Plus as well, right? There's certain games on there that you can buy for a discounted rate. But that's another bonus where if you buy a game because you have Game Pass, you can buy a game for discounted. That's also good as well. Kurt says, I have a 2 terabyte drive full of games from Xbox, giving them away on Xbox Live. I need to play some of the old games. Well, let's go to the next story. The next story is the Grand Theft Auto. The Grand Theft Auto story. Second. All right, so former Rockstar dev thinks GTA 6 might disappoint people. Before we get to this article, if you like what I do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. We just cover news stories, cover conversations with chat, and I give you my thoughts and opinions on these things. We do this, again, Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. All right, so former Rockstar dev thinks GTA 6 might disappoint people. Now, obviously, we always talk about this as games go on and sequels come out. Like the first game comes out, there's no expectations for it, but then every game that comes out after it, because they set the precedent with Grand Theft Auto 3 and then Vice City and then San Andreas and then 4 and then 5. And now it's at this peak, right? It's at this peak where Grand Theft Auto 6, let's be fair, is supposed to be, in the eyes of everyone, is supposed to be the greatest game ever created. Okay, because of what they've done before. A lot of people don't like Grand Theft Auto because of whatever reason, but for what graphically it pushes and the stories and the immersion of the game, it's second to none, right? Just look at what Cyberpunk did after the 3 years, and people love that. Can Grand Theft Auto now do more than what Cyberpunk did in Grand Theft Auto 6? So the dev says Obi Vermegi is legend in the Grand Theft Auto world. Last year, he kicked off a blog detailing some of the exploits from his time at Rockstar, which saw him work in the likes of GTA 3, San Andreas, and Grand Theft Auto 4. Relatively revealing, his post led receiving an email from Rockstar warning him to stop what he was doing, because him and giving away no more secrets. Now the developer has sat down for an hour-long interview with Sanian Play, during which he spoke at length about Grand Theft Auto 6, but his predictions aren't what some fans were looking for. He says, going to be the best game out there. Now, he says, Rockstar Games revealed Grand Theft Auto 6 December after months of title being hyped about millions of fans worldwide, and the trailer broke viewership records and skyrocketed to the tops of the new feeds and also world over. It's also a beautiful thing that the trailer set the bar for what's coming in 2025, we hope. Now, Obi is also still plugged into the Grand Theft Auto, and also while he was stressed he knows nothing about the inner workings of Grand Theft Auto 6, he has an experienced voice with 14 years of Grand Theft Auto-focused development under his belt. He knows more than most, and the interview, which is done by Games Radar, made bold prediction. He says, I don't think it's going to be wildly different from Grand Theft Auto 5. I think maybe people might be a little disappointed on the first day, but it's still going to be the best game out there. The trailer that we saw showcased a living, breathing world, up-to-date tech to pop culture reference, and a larger map based on the estimations. There's also even been in Grand Theft Auto, it looked like it was going to be a dual protagonist system that built around the story, and there's something of the age of romantic or political or potentially tragic. The trailer also pitted up the humorous tongue-in-cheek references and content to come expected from GTA series. With that being said, how much can we really differ from Grand Theft Auto 5? It's how it plays. There's got to be this, right? Won't be widely different. Okay, so this article, when was this article from? Former Rockstar. This is the actual interview. Interview with content creator. Okay, not sure about the Grand Theft Auto 6 really going to be different from that. I already said that. Honestly, considering how high the expectations are of the next installment, it does feel that there's a chance that some of it could end up disappointment, depending on Rockstar's able to deliver. Of course, clearly, though, he says he's optimistic. He also mentions that I love the Miami vibe, which he says suits GTA very well. For a long time being, it'll still be dark about a lot of it, what's going on in GTA 6. We've only seen one trailer, but we also know it's currently planned to launch on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S in the fall during 2025. So I think a lot of the stuff that obviously not every game could be a hit. Every book could be a bestseller. Not every movie could be a blockbuster. But I think for Grand Theft Auto 6, this is one game that comes along every decade, right? So once in a lifetime cycle of a console, but it's hard to say that because Grand Theft Auto came out in Xbox 360, right? And then it came to the One, and then it came to the new system, and then it came from PlayStation 3 to PlayStation 4 to PlayStation 5. It's been through 3 console cycles. And now Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, and obviously it's going to be here on this console, and it'll go on to the next 10 years after this. But I think a lot of people will be disappointed in this game because I don't think it could live up to the hype that it's up there, right? I still think it'll be the best-selling game of that year. I still think it'll break every single record with pre-orders and day one and week one and month one. But I do think that I don't think that Grand Theft Auto or Rockstar can continue going straight up like a rocket with GTA. There's got to be some sort of burst that happens or something that happens. And there was articles last year talking about how the interior developers in Rockstar are not the same developers that were in the other Rockstar games, and that they fundamentally change. And they were talking about how the writing could be different. And because of all of this DEI stuff in the last couple of years, that it could have an effect on what Grand Theft Auto is. And we had a conversation last year about this, talking about, can Grand Theft Auto keep its raunchy, fun, very, very, very not realistic, making fun satire type stuff, or do they break it and then try to go towards what Saints Row did and kind of go woke or whatnot? And if they do that, I think that's a big mistake from Grand Theft Auto. Obviously, regardless if they do or don't, it's still going to sell a crap ton of copies. But the biggest thing is, what do you think? Do you think that Grand Theft Auto 6 can maintain this course of where it's just going to surpass the last Grand Theft Auto? That's sold 200 million copies worldwide in the last decade. It's 20 million copies a year. Can this do it? We obviously won't know for 10 years. But do you think this will be the best-selling Rockstar game? Not the best-selling game, but do you think this will be the best-selling Rockstar game to ever grace us in the video game aspect? Let us know in the comment section down below. Do you think that is going to be a little disappointed for people? Let me know in the comment section down below. These are my thoughts. Let me know yours. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. Thanks for watching. All right. Dolphin says, it's going to be disappointed people because I think the trailer is gameplay. Is going to disappoint because people think the trailer is gameplay. Well, I think the graphics are going to be pretty damn good, but I don't think it's going to be like what they showed. I don't know if we get this. You know what I mean? Look at Outlaws getting degraded for graphics. It take 12 years to make a GTA 6. It's fair for people to think that it will be also the second coming of Christ. Right. Right. Nate says GTA 6 is going to be great. I think it's going to be a Grand Theft Auto game. I love all my Grand Theft Auto games. Nostalgia brings it back to Miami. And we all know that Vice City is the best game. There's no other answer. Vice City is... Talk about those games that Winzo asked. Is there a game that... Vice City is that game, right? Out of all the Grand Theft Auto games, Vice City is that game that's got a notch in my brain because of the music, because of the time frame, whatnot. It was just awesome back then. Now, if you go back and look at the graphics of Vice City, it doesn't look very good, right? If you go back and look at the videos for Vice City, it does not look good. Is this the... But at the time, man, at the time, this right here was phenomenal. We were like, did you see the graphics? See the graphics? This game was phenomenal. 30 might be biased about Vice City. No, Vice City was the best game. But look at this. These graphics at the time were like the best. San Andreas was good. I wish they remade it. They did. That was Grand Theft Auto 5. That took place in San Andreas. The only thing they missed was bringing back Las Vegas. Right? You go from this. I mean, look at the. This was amazing back then. Not anymore. Not anymore. You can't show up with Grand Theft Auto 6 like this. Yeah, San Andreas did some really cool things with the weightlifting and stuff. And you got fat and skinny. There's the burger joints and there's all this other stuff. Like, there was so much attention to detail, right? But you go from Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Let me see if they do it. Did someone make a video? Yeah, someone made a video from 1997 to 2023. It's a 20-minute video. Okay, let's watch it. This is random, right? Let's watch this one.
In 1997, all the way to Grand Theft Auto 5, released in 2013, the Grand Theft Auto franchise continues to rank among the greatest and best-selling games of all time. Let's go through the entire evolution
go through it the entire
of this
time.
legendary franchise.
I didn't even think I was going to do this, but it just popped in my head, and I was like, you know what? Let's watch it. Flat Life is the channel we're watching right now.
This is the evolution of Grand Theft Auto. In 1997, the first Grand Theft Auto.
This was mind-blowing back in the day. I saw this. I remember going to Electronic Boutique, which is a gaming company, that got bought out later. And I remember seeing this on the shelf, and I picked it up.
The game was released for PC, PlayStation, and 2 years later, also for the Game Boy Color. The first GTA must look archaic to fans of the more modern.
This was awesome. Top down. It was so much fun playing this game.
Entries of the series. Its top-down perspective and rough polygonal graphics are a far cry from the expansive, detailed city spaces we've eventually come to expect. However, the game was still as crime-focused, mature, and violent as we know it today. But that wasn't how the game started. First, it was titled Race and Chase, in which players would be a police officer.
See, I didn't know this.
Pursuing criminals. However, the game was considered boring, so...
To be a police officer, it was boring. So we had to change it where you're the criminal.
The name was changed to Grand Theft Auto, and instead of a police officer, players would become a criminal. The game was made up of...
And you know what? Now people are asking from Grand Theft Auto 5 if they can make a game where you're the police officer.
6 levels split between 3 main cities, which were based on real-life cities in the United States, including Liberty City based on New York City, San Andreas based on San Francisco, and Vice City, which is based on Miami. These cities would continue to come back in the series. In 1999, an expansion pack was released, known as Grand Theft Auto London 1969. As the name suggests, it took place in London during the late 1960s. This included aesthetic.
It was a bitch to steer with the arrow keys.
Elements from this time period, including vehicles, but also British slang. Both the original GTA and the expansion pack received.
Yeah, it's the precinct. The precinct. We're gonna play that, Nate.
Mixed reviews. It was praised for its freedom, but the graphics were seen as unimpressive. Nonetheless, the game became a success, and over 3 million copies were sold.
In 1997, 3 million copies. That's insane. Okay? Think about that. There's games now that sell 3 million copies, and they're considered an absolute devastation, and they close down the studio.
Fun fact, Grand Theft Auto created a great deal of controversy due to its violent content. The House of Lords was considering banning sales in the United Kingdom. However, luckily it was never banned, and Rockstar Games cleverly used the controversy as free promotion for their game. In 1999, Grand Theft Auto 2 was released for PC, PlayStation, Dreamcast, and the Game Boy Color. The second game in the franchise was a solid step forward that expanded the groundwork established by the first.
And look at the graphics. Graphics were top notch.
Game, although it wasn't the genre-redefining step that its successor would become. Its significant evolution was its mission design. Instead of having a linear sequence of missions, you could choose to freely accept missions from different, often opposing gangs at any time. This created a chain of events that affected how gangs perceived you. Side missions were firstly presented and have since followed every game of the series. You could earn money by working as a taxi, bus, or delivery truck driver. Additionally, the game saw advancements in pedestrian behavior. People would walk on the street or enter public transportation vehicles. If they were criminals, they would steal cars or engage in random fights with the police.
I love that you can just run over everything with the tank.
Instead of in-game footage, the game featured a live-action short film as an introductory sequence for the game. Yet again, the game was criticized for its graphics and received mixed reviews. In total, 2 million copies of Grand Theft Auto
Oh, what a devastating loss.
2 were sold. In 2001, Rockstar Games published Grand Theft Auto 3.
And this was game-altering, like industry-changing alter. Okay, this was amazing to go from the top down to what Grand Theft Auto 3 is.
It was released for PC, PlayStation 2, and the Xbox. Although the first 2 GTAs were both proofs of concept.
Look at the graphics back then. This game was so freaking ahead of its time. It was so
what
good.
An open-world action game could be, GTA 3 took that idea to the next level. Unlike its predecessors, you were free to walk from a third-person perspective, breathe and live in a...
That right there is why people like Grand Theft Auto. You could literally go and do what you want.
3D.
Obviously, that was a mission that you had to chuck it in the water. But
city. This simple shift in perspective increased your engagement with the world. With the open world structure of its ancestors once again at play, the ability to freely take on missions or merely cause chaos was satisfying and innovative gameplay. Storytelling was also greatly emphasized, with celebrity voice acting within dramatic cutscenes. Unfortunately, the protagonist had little personality or backstory. Grand Theft Auto 3 also generated
right, Altern? You can play this on your phone now.
A lot of controversies. GameSpy awarded the game with Most Offensive Game of the Year. They thought it was disgraceful that players were awarded for causing mayhem and killing innocent people by the dozen.
It's a video game.
Despite its controversies, Grand Theft Auto 3 became a massive success and was generally very well received. Many reviewers found the 3D graphics a significant improvement over the 2D graphics in previous games. Official PlayStation Magazine named it, quote, the most innovative, outlandish, brilliant video game. And IGN said it was one of the best titles of the year. On Metacritic's,
oh, good old IGN back then, huh?
The game even scored a 97 out of a 100 and became one of the highest scoring games of all time. In total, a whopping 14.5 million.
Woo! 14.5 million
copies of Grand Theft Auto 3 were sold. Fun fact, players could use cheat codes to get an unfair advantage or just to have fun.
Yep.
These included cheats for being able to fly your car, getting all weapons, or spawning a tank. Before we continue, I would like to thank our sponsor for this video, Atlas VPN. While doing research for all of these videos, I visit all kinds of sites and often use public Wi-Fi. Meanwhile, someone may be tracking my online activity. So, to stay safe online, I use Atlas VPN. In a time where everything is online, it is essential to keep your data and IP address safe. With Atlas VPN, you can stream your favorite shows and play games with lightning-fast speeds. But that's not all. It also blocks malicious links, ads, and notifies you when someone is trying to steal your data. Oh, and with one single subscription, you can protect unlimited devices on Windows, Mac, iOS, and Android. Right now, Atlas VPN is running a huge discount for Black Friday. It means you can get a 3-year subscription for just $1.39 a month with a 30-day money-back guarantee and 3 additional months for free. Time is running out, so get your Black Friday deal by clicking the link in the video description below. In 2002, Grand Theft Auto Vice City was developed by Rockstar North and published by
This is the best Grand Theft Auto game.
Rockstar Games. It first became a PlayStation 2 exclusive, but it also became available for the PC and the Xbox 1 year later. The game offered a more detailed city known as Vice City, which is based heavily on Miami. The game was inspired by Miami Vice and Scarface.
You can go into this guy's house.
Vice City includes new missions and vehicles like motorcycles. One of the game's significant additions was the ability to purchase businesses and properties, letting you increase your income and feel like you were actually evolving in the game world. The game's narrative presentation was also upgraded.
Oh yeah, the soundtrack is unmatched. I think that's one of the reasons that game was so good, because of the radio broadcasts. And the music?
Finally, we got a protagonist named Tommy Vercetti, who actually talked and felt like a proper character. During the story, Tommy meets characters from various gangs, and as a player, you can complete missions for these gangs. Just like Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City was also released to critical acclaim. Players and reviewers loved the open world, sound and music, story, and open-ended gameplay.
Mr. Whoopi.
It only scored slightly less than its predecessor on Metacritic with a score of 95, but it did sell more copies. In total, 17.5.
Ooh, 17.5. Man, between Grand Theft Auto 3 and Grand Theft Auto Vice City, they have themselves 41 million copies.
5 million copies of Vice City were sold. Fun fact, similar to its predecessor, Vice City also generated a lot of controversies. One of those controversies started when 18-year-old Devin Moore shot and killed 2 police officers. In statements to the police, Moore said, "Life is like a video game. Everybody's got to die sometime." A $600 million lawsuit was filed against Rockstar Games, claiming that Moore frequently played Vice City and that his experience with the game led him to commit the crimes. Eventually, the Supreme Court dismissed the case.
Of course they did. Because how do you blame a video game company for making a guy go out and shoot somebody?
Another $600 million lawsuit was filed after 14-year-old Posey killed his father, stepmother, and stepsister. The lawsuit claimed that the...
You know what's really weird about this? The way the guy is saying it, and you hear the music in the background, it's like upbeat. It's like a little off.
Murders would not have taken place if Posey had not obsessively played Vice City. Yet again, the case was dismissed. In 2004, another great Grand Theft Auto game was released known as San Andreas. At release, only players with a PlayStation 2 could enjoy the game. And in 2005, owners of a PC or Xbox could also play San Andreas. The game was built on the previous 2 games while taking players to another radically different setting. San Andreas was enormous. It became the largest game in the series.
This back then was just amazing how big this game was.
Consisting of 3 main
Los Ventures, right? Is that what Las Vegas was?
cities. Los Santos, based on Los Angeles, San Fierro, based on San Francisco, and Las Venturas, based on Las Vegas.
This blew my mind because I loved Vegas at that time. I was going to Vegas all the time, and they had it in the video game. You could walk into the casinos, you could gamble and stuff. I was like, this is crazy.
In the large open-world environment, players could use a wide variety of vehicles, including cars, buses, boats, aircraft, motorcycles, tanks.
I'm telling you right now. I said it years ago. I'm going to say it again. Grand Theft Auto Online will have all of these games. San Andreas, Vice City, right? Los Santos, all of them. In the online open world, it's going to be a universe. It's going to be Grand Theft Auto world or universe 100%.
Tanks and bicycles. In total, San Andreas has 212 different vehicles compared to just 60 in GTA 3. Players could explore and choose how they wish to play the game, although some locations only became available after completing missions. An improvement compared to the previous GTA games was that San Andreas had no loading.
Look at that. Do you see those bushes coming in? Oh, I can't believe anyone played this game.
Times while going to different districts in a city. The game also had a multiplayer option to allow 2 players to complete rampages. Players could now also swim, climb walls, modify cars, and fight in gang wars. San Andreas is...
I used to just run around making sure everything turned green. You just knock them all out.
Story focused on Carl Johnson, a more dynamic protagonist than previous characters. The game also introduced a new RPG-style character progression system that allowed Carl to evolve in different ways. Head to the gym or take part
I used to make him as fat as possible, eat as much junk food as possible.
in mini-games and increase your character's stamina and strength. Well, you also had to eat, devour a delicious meal, and cluck and bell, and eventually gain colossal weight, impacting gameplay. Overall, the game featured a marked shift towards focusing on West Coast street gangs and was heavily influenced by 90s hip-hop culture. San Andreas became a legendary game and was met with critical acclaim. It received an average review score of 95. San Andreas also won multiple awards, including PlayStation 2 Game of the Year by IGN and Best PlayStation 2 Game by GameSpot. It even became the most sold PlayStation 2 game. In total, over 21.5 million.
God, what do we got? Hold on a second. Right, we had a total of 3 million. Right, we had 3 million plus 2 million plus 14 million. Right, 14. Then we had plus 17.5, and then now we have 21.5. So right now they've sold 58 million
copies of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas were sold. Fun fact, San Andreas was at the center of controversy when they released a software patch dubbed Hot Coffee.
Oh, I remember the government was after the Hot Coffee, where you were banging a chick.
It involved a fully clothed sexual intercourse minigame.
Here we go again.
The fallout from the controversy even led to high-ranking politicians in the United States to have the game re-released with the minigame removed completely. It also led to the ESRB
I still have my copy.
changing its rating from M for mature to AO for adults only. Besides the main series, there were also some other GTA titles, including Grand Theft Auto Advance, which was released in 2004 for the Game Boy Advance. The game had to be adapted to the Game Boy Advance's hardware limitations. This resulted in a top-down perspective game, which does not have
Man, those graphics are great.
animated cutscenes. Overall, the game wasn't that well received compared to the other GTA games. In 2005, Liberty City Stories was released as a PlayStation
I played that.
portable exclusive. 1 year later, the game also became available for the PlayStation 2. Liberty City Stories was the first 3D GTA game released on a handheld. The game takes place in Liberty City, which is a fictional parody of New York City. The PSP version of the game also had a multiplayer mode, allowing up to 6 players to engage in several game modes. Liberty City Stories was generally well received and had commercial success. In total, 11 million copies of the
Jesus, I didn't know 11 million copies got sold there.
game were sold. Grand Theft Auto Vice City Stories was also released as a PlayStation Portable exclusive in 2006. 1 year later, a PlayStation 2 version was also released. Even though Vice City Stories did not introduce any significant features to the game, it did improve on Liberty City Stories, providing better graphics, faster loading times, a longer draw distance, among other improvements. The game also features empire building, a gameplay element that allows players to make money operating various businesses, each with their unique missions. In the game, there were also 99 red balloons scattered around the city, which was a reference to the 1984 hit song 99 Luft Balloons by Nina.
Great, now we're gonna get hit by a fucking...
Just like its predecessor, Vice City Stories was also well received, but it wasn't as successful. In total, 6 million copies were sold.
I mean, come on now. 6 million copies for that? That's actually pretty fucking good.
Compared to 11 million copies of Liberty City Stories. In 2008, a very important game in the series was released, named Grand Theft Auto.
I like Grand Theft Auto 4, but I hated the fucking relationship thing that you had to do in this game.
4. The game could be played on PC, the PlayStation 3, and the Xbox 360. GTA 4 is the 6th main entry in the Grand Theft Auto series, following Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. It started in the beginning of what's known as the HD universe.
Yeah, look at the graphics, man. The graphics were so freaking good when this came out. You gotta remember, the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360 and the graphics looked like this.
Allowing for much better graphics. The game takes place in Liberty City, based, of course, on New York City. During the development, the team captured over 100,000 photographs of New York City since they considered the world to be the most important element of the game. Surprisingly, though, the game isn't the largest in the series, and is just half the size of San Andreas. However, the game adds much more detail.
It was pretty big, though. It was pretty big. Now, obviously, San Andreas was gigantic.
The story features a darker narrative. It introduces Nico Bellic as the protagonist, who is an ex-soldier from Eastern Europe wanting to pursue the American dream and search for a man who betrayed his unit in a war 10 years prior. Developers of GTA thought that the missions in San Andreas were too linear, so in GTA 4, players could choose between moral choices that impact the story, such as letting a character live or kill. One of the greatest new features was online multiplayer. Up to 32 players could engage in cooperative or competitive gameplay. It also
This was absolutely broke when it came out. You could not get online for like 2 weeks, and then it was worse for when Grand Theft Auto 5 came out.
allowed players to join together in free roam modes, which was similar to the single-player game, except with friends and others. Grand Theft Auto 4 instantly became a massive success and broke industry records. In the first week, Rockstar Games earned $500 million. In 2009, there were also 2 expansion packs released for the game. The Lost and Damned introduced a storyline and protagonist named Johnny Klebitz, who is a member of the Lost Motorcycle Club. The DLC also added checkpoints to missions, which allows you to pick up progress after you fail. No starting from the beginning? Newbies feature. The second DLC was The Ballad of Gay Tony. It also introduces a new story as well as a new protagonist named Luis Fernando Lopez. Grand Theft Auto and their DLCs became a massive success. Most critics and players loved the game and praised the open world, narrative, and the combat system. IGN even felt that it set a benchmark for open world games. It became the second highest rated game on Metacritic with a score of 98. Over 25 million
25
copies of Grand Theft Auto 4 were sold, even surpassing the sales of GTA San Andreas. Fun fact, Nico Bellic was based on Sasha, the main character of the movie Behind Enemy Lines. In 2009, Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wars was released for the Nintendo DS and PlayStation Portable. It featured the classic top-down perspective of early GTA games. However, the camera angle was much improved, and it had a more stylized comic book art style. Besides the story and roaming around in the world, players could also buy drugs from suppliers and sell them to dealers to make money. Although I personally loved dealing drugs in the game, not everyone was a fan of this feature. In fact, it continued the tradition of controversy in the Grand Theft Auto series. Darren Gold of the charity Drugs line said, quote, "Anything using drug dealing as entertainment is sending out the wrong message. Glamorization doesn't help our work trying to educate kids of the dangers of substance
I mean, you're being chased by cops and getting shot down by them, so.
misuse." While the game received mostly very positive reviews, it became the worst-selling GTA game with just 1.2 million copies sold.
That's not bad.
Fun fact, the police, an everywhere threat to players in GTA, was no longer something to hide from. Instead, the game encouraged you to smash into police cars. This led to a reduction in your wanted level. In 2013, Grand Theft Auto 5 was released for the PC, Xbox
This one shattered records.
360, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, but also for the next-generation PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S. Grand Theft Auto 5 is a significant improvement compared to the previous games in the series. The game can be played from either a third-person or a first-person perspective. The story involves not just one protagonist, but 3, which are Michael DeSanta, Franklin Clinton, and of course, Trevor Phillips. As a player, you can freely switch between the...
Just to put it out there, up until this point before this game launched, total of everything that we saw so far is 101.2 million copies sold of just every Grand Theft Auto up until this point, and this one game has sold 2 times the amount of what this game, what all the rest of the games have done. That's insane.
These characters and complete many engaging missions. GTA 5 immediately became a huge success. Within just 24 hours of its release, Grand Theft Auto 5 generated more than $815 million in revenue. The multiplayer mode, known as GTA Online, is also a significant improvement compared to other installments. Up to 30 players can freely roam online in San Andreas, which includes a city known as Los Santos. There are also countless cooperative and competitive activities in which players can partake. In 2015, a major update was released for GTA Online, known as the Heists Update. It allows players to plan, prepare, and
It took 18 months for them to get that in the game after the fact.
execute heists. The update also introduced many new weapons, vehicles, and clothing items. Over the years, Rockstar Games added many major updates to keep players engaged in multiplayer modes. This is one of the reasons why GTA 5 continues to be one of the most popular games. Grand Theft Auto 5 was very well received, becoming one of the highest-rated games on Metacritic's website. It received a score of 97. IGN even gave the game a score of 10 out of 10 and called it, quote, one of the very best video games ever made. GTA 5 also won many awards, including Game of the Year multiple times by Spike, Game Developers' Choice Awards, and DICE Awards. The game became a massive success and the fastest video game ever to gross $1 billion. Fun fact, Grand Theft Auto 5 became the second best-selling game ever. In total, Rockstar
That's
Games
crazy.
managed to sell, wait for it, 150.
This video is 2 years old. It's up at 200 million copies sold. Over 200 million copies sold. They've averaged 20 million copies a year for a decade. Okay. So we're going to add the extra 200 million. They've sold 301.2 million copies
of the
Grand
game.
Theft Auto games.
If we would combine all the sales of the previous GTA games, we wouldn't even reach that many copies by far.
Yeah. They have 104.7. I had 101, so he must have not shown one of the sales. I think it was the Grand Theft Auto Game Boy Edition, right? So 304.7 million now.
It has been 20 years since the original release of Grand Theft Auto 3. In honor of this anniversary, Grand Theft Auto: The Trilogy was released
This bombed, by the way.
in November 2021. The trilogy was released for PC, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and the next generation PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S. It contains 3 games from the Grand Theft Auto series: GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas. These games are fully remastered with new lighting, environmental upgrades, high-resolution
And millions of new bugs.
textures, increased draw distances, and modern gameplay. Finally, it's time to relive our childhood with much better graphics. From the first Grand Theft Auto game released in 1997 all the way to Grand Theft Auto 5, it is incredible how the series has evolved. The franchise continues to thrive, and millions of fans worldwide
Like,
are
where do you
eagerly
go?
waiting for GTA 6. Honestly, it's about time a new Grand Theft Auto game will be released. What do you hope to see in Grand Theft Auto 6? Let us know in the comments.
Where do you go? All right. I'm going to give this guy a like. 4.1 million people watch this. Nice video. Go check him out. It's Flat Life. I'll put it in the description down below as well. Actually, let me fix that so we know, because we watched his video. Yeah, that's crazy. Absolutely nuts. Right? This is why they can do what they want and take their sweet, sweet time. Flat Life's name is down below now in the description if you want to go check out his content. Right? Like, Grand Theft Auto 6, okay? Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to smash, okay? So they have to beat 815 million for their own game. I think they break $1 billion. They break $1 billion. I think they sell more. Cyberpunk right now has the has the lead with 8 million copies sold before day one, meaning pre-orders. Grand Theft Auto goes online. I think they break that record. I think they get like 11 to 12 million copies sold pre-order. Okay. Now, obviously, something go along the lines of if someone gets a exclusive for a time frame. I don't think Rockstar will do it for like 6 months. Talking like a month, maybe. Right? We had this conversation a couple months ago with Netflix could throw their hat in the ring. Amazon could throw their hat in the ring. PlayStation, right? Somebody could get it for exclusive time frame or something when it comes out, and that would just, everyone would move over. If Netflix paid the money up front to get Grand Theft Auto for the first month on their site or something, like for their games, everyone would just get Netflix for that month. It would definitely throw a wrench in the gears of the industry. This game you want to stay clear of. Now, I'm not talking you, the gamer. I'm talking about if you're a developer and Grand Theft Auto 6 announces that they're coming out April 1st, then you clear your schedule and you make sure that your game does not come a month before or a month after. Okay? So basically 3 months. Okay? You have the month before, they have that month that they're there, and then 1 month after. You do not want to put your game anywhere close to what Grand Theft Auto is launching, because your game will fail. It will bomb. No one will buy it. No one will get it. Everyone will be talking about Grand Theft Auto 6 nonstop, 24/7, from when it launches till whenever, right? So if you're a game, especially if you're like an open world game in some sort, you do not want to put it, you just want to shove it back a little bit, because you do not want to go up against this juggernaut. This is going to be absolutely ridiculous, the amount of money it makes. And it could be the first official $100 video game. Okuda Papa says 30, fully recreated with thousands of all new features. I gotta give Cyberpunk a shot. I do. I gotta find time to give it a shot. Right. You can't come anywhere near it. It's just gonna eat it. It's just gonna eat it. It's not worth your time. Now, as a gamer, I hope that they don't ruin this series. Obviously, through watching the evolution of Grand Theft Auto through the years, it's impressive, man. Like the graphics that they showed for the Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer. Here, let's go to the GTA 6. When you look at this, man, 7 months ago, 201 million views. Like, obviously, this is not all cutscenes. This is gameplay, right? There's gameplay within here. These are the cutscenes within the thing as well, okay? But this is going to be super impressive. Super impressive. It'll be amazing. It would be amazing if this doesn't break the records. Lifetime sales of Grand Theft Auto 5 is over 200 million. 20 million copies a year for 10 years is insane. Brain says, I can see Rockstar going old school and have different packages from different platforms. Best Buy Edition, Amazon Edition, Rockstar Legacy Edition. I can see that happening, Brain. I can see that happening. The hot dog mission from the top down. I do not. Right there. Like, that's a cutscene, and it could also be gameplay. Well, obviously, that's a cutscene. That's what it's going to look like. Like, if you look at it right there, that's what it's going to look like when you're playing. And you saw the leak gameplay, didn't you, Dolphin? I'm not gonna show it, but you saw the leak gameplay, the ocean physics that they had for it and whatnot. Rough estimate that they sell the first week. Well, okay, they said what they sell in the first week. They sold 815 million. They said. Okay, so that's roughly 13.5 million copies sold the first week for Grand Theft Auto 5. Okay? Roughly. I think the first week, we could be looking at 20 million. I think you could look at, in the first week, you could sell, I think they're going to sell that many copies, 12 to 13 million pre-order sales. Okay? Pre-order sales. So I think after the game comes out that week, we're talking, you can get close to 18 to 20 million copies for that first week. There's more people playing video games now than ever before. Okay? Unless something happens where they get exclusive to something, which I don't think they'll do because I think it would ruin it. If it comes out for all consoles, I think they can get 20 million first week. the limit is the total sales on current gen consoles. Sure. Right now you have 80 million to 90 million consoles out there. Again, the first week of Grand Theft Auto 5 was at, and the consoles weren't at 100 and, how many consoles? I wonder if I can look that up. How many PlayStation 3 consoles. What year did Grand Theft Auto come out? Was it 2013? GTA 5 release date? 2013. It was for the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. All right, so let me see. PlayStation 3. PlayStation 3 sales in 2013. They shipped 80 million. That can't be. That's total, though. Sony says it sold 4.2 million PlayStation 4 consoles in 2013. PlayStation 4 sales. No, that's not what I'm looking at. I'm trying to look at the total sales for PlayStation at that time. PlayStation 3. PlayStation 3's total sold 87. Okay, so there was, we'll say 87 because it was a tail end. So PlayStation 3, 87.4 million, and the Xbox 360 had 84 million. And that's the only ones that came out on, right? So that's 164. 164, 87, 87.4, and 84. Yeah, so 171 million consoles out there. There are less right now, right? And it's really hard to differentiate right now because Xbox only has 26, 27, maybe. We'll give them 30 million for the new consoles. And then you have PlayStation at 60 million. You have less than half. Okay, but at the same time, Xbox not even selling consoles. More people are playing off of cloud, television sets, and whatnot than the actual console sales of Xbox itself. Okay, so let's just give it 100 million. So there's 70 million short. I still think they sell 20 million units. I still think they sell 20 million units. So 50 mil, 50%. Hopefully they have a offline mode, single player for GTA 6. I still haven't ever played the GTA 5 story, only online. Oh, the story's great for Grand Theft Auto 5. You should play it. Will it be on PC right away? No. If it's on PC, then it will shatter records instantaneously. But it's only on PlayStation 5 and also Xbox Series S and X, and then television sets and whatnot. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a title that gets onto Game Pass fairly quickly, given a month or two or sales, then put it on Game Pass. Yeah, but we're talking about just day one, week one sales is what we're talking about. Over time, no doubt about it. Once it goes on PC, more people buy it. People buy it a second time and whatnot. We're just talking about week one sales. How many preview owners will not feel that they have time to play it just on the subscription? I'll say if it launches on PC as well, 75 million first week. I don't know about 75 million. That'd be insane. That'd be insane. People want next gen consoles for college football. I think it's almost a Series S, but still. That's true. That's true. We didn't even think about that. Eclipse. I would, if PlayStation, if they came out and said it was only on PlayStation 5 for the first week, I would go out and buy a PlayStation just for that game. That's one of the games that I would pay to buy a game. So you are correct. More people will go out and buy a system just to play that game. It'll easily be the biggest game of generation, no doubt. FOMO will be real, and they can announce $200 early access and sell 50 million. Again, we're not talking about price point, though. We're just talking about copies sold. I think it sells first week 15 to, I'll say 15 to 18, maybe 20 mil the first week. 20 mil seems low. Not because of the player base, though. The console market. Right? I'm basing it off of PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 when it was out had 171.4 million copies of consoles out there when Grand Theft Auto 5 dropped. And they sold 13.4, I think it was, the first week. So based off of that, of 171 million consoles out there, 13 million were sold. Okay, now you're getting less than half of that. You're getting around 80 mil. Okay, that means everyone that owns an Xbox would have to buy it, and everyone that owns a PlayStation would have to buy it. But that's not true, right? But there's only a total. There's like 90 to 100 million units out there, which is 70 to 80 million less, so about half of what they had. Okay, and I still think they can get the 13 to 15 to 18 million people to buy the game, for sure. Just on console. That's not including PC. Because PC comes out later. Unless they make an announcement that PC is coming out at the same time, then forget about it. I don't know if it's 75 million copies the first week like Water's saying, but it would be up there. It would be up past 20 easily. Yeah, we're talking 1 week. I'm just talking 1 week. Just based off the video that we watched, and he's saying the first week, Grand Theft Auto 4, I think they said they sold 11 million copies. Oh, no, 800 million. It was 800 million. Was it 800 million? I forget what it was. It was less. And then Grand Theft Auto 5 surpassed that with 800 and whatever million, and then converted that from $60 or whatever. It's 13 million copies, 13.5 million copies. Xbox gives Rockstar $1.5 billion for 6 months to a year on Game Pass. Series S sales would grow even more. That's true. And I did say earlier, I said, just if it's on the console. I didn't say if it was exclusive or anything. That throws wrenches and stuff, right? If they throw it on a Game Pass like that, that throws wrenches on what the sales numbers are and stuff like that, because you wouldn't really know what the sales numbers are then. I'm just talking specifically selling the copies on the consoles that are out right now, what percentage of people would buy it, and what people, how many out of the 90 million would purchase it. I think somewhere around 18 to 20 million people would buy it first week. Will Series S still exist next year? Sure. If you want to break records, throw it onto Game Pass. People will fucking play it. Yeah, but again, that's not selling copies, though. That's just people playing it. We're talking copies sold. Based on the video that we just watched of saying that Grand Theft Auto 5 sold 800 and whatever million the first week. I say they break $1 billion. They're definitely breaking $1 billion the first week. Okay? And that the copies sold would be around 18 to 20 million copies first week. That's what I believe. This is a game that comes once along a generation. Right? If they sold at just the $70 price tag that they have now, to get to 1 billion, that's 1 million, 100 million. That's 1 billion divided by 70. Yeah, they have to sell 14.2 million copies to get to 1 billion. And I'm saying they're going to sell, I'll say 18 million copies. They're going to hit 1.2 billion. I say they're going to hit 18 to 20 million copies sold. They'll break $1 billion, obviously. I've said it in the past. I say it'll be the fastest pre-order most pre-order, most day one, most week one, most month one. Come on, Artemis. And if it doesn't, right? Even if it just does exactly what Grand Theft Auto 5 did in its opening week, where it sells 13 million copies, that is not a loss, by the way. Oh, sure. If you want to have a conversation about what they do afterwards, 100% they put it on Game Pass. They put it everywhere. What Mo says, pay the bill, right? $1 billion towards them. They put it on there for a certain period of time. Then it comes out for PC. Oh, yeah. This will definitely break records across the board. And a big part of it is going to be the online feature. I'm telling you, man, there's no way it comes out. They come out with the game, and it's just the Vice City stuff again, right? It's just Miami, it's Florida, whatever it is. And then for the online aspect of it, when they bring it in, and all of a sudden they tell you, yeah, we're not dropping just a DLC. We're dropping a whole Liberty City, right? So online play, you could play Liberty City, San Andreas, Vice City. It's going to be the world, dude. I'm telling you. They talked about it like a decade ago. Dan Houser and stuff talked about it, how they wanted to make it where it was basically GTA World. They could just keep adding stuff to it. No shot it hits Game Pass or Sony. I mean, Grand Theft Auto been on Game Pass multiple times. Red Dead Redemption has been on Game Pass multiple times. So to say no shot, when you say that, Jones, are you talking about like sooner rather than later or never? Because your no shot it hits Game Pass is 100% wrong, because they've done that in the past with most of the games. I'll agree with you saying no shot at that launch. And even then, I don't want to say no shot, but because money talks, bullshit walks. Yeah, role-playing is going to be another level, man. Have it free to play, but they can play it online and buy the microtransactions. That's some serious money. Oh, yeah. That's a completely different conversation. You give it 5 years minimum before it's on Game Pass? No way. No way. No way. How fast did... Hold on. Let's see. Xbox Game Pass gets Red Dead Redemption 2, but it's not all good news. Red Dead Redemption 2 is galloping onto Game Pass for console on May 7th. Microsoft announced Rockstar Blockbuster released in 2018. So it was 3 years? That was 3 years for Red Dead Redemption? So based on you're predicting 5 years, I'll say no. So it was resold as a PlayStation 4, Xbox One version, and saying it was originally a PlayStation 3 360 game. It took years to get to the second gen to reach Game Pass. Sure, Grand Theft Auto 5 didn't come to Game Pass. Game Pass wasn't even created when it came out. Red Dead Redemption 2 took 3 years to come out on Game Pass. Came out 2018. They put it out there in 2021. Was it October? So 18 to 19, 19 to 20, 20, 20, 20. Yeah, a little over 3 years. No, it comes and goes. It comes and goes. They paid, remember when the FTC leaked the document? they paid $15 million a month for Grand Theft Auto 5 to be on Game Pass, and they paid $5 million a month for Rockstar's Red Dead Redemption 2 on Game Pass. A month. $5 million and $15 million a month to Rockstar to keep it on Game Pass. And it was on there for like 3 months, something like that, 6 months. It like comes and goes. $15 million a month. That's basically 214 million copies. I'm sorry, 214,000 copies a month. Right? So you times that by 3, right? So basically, forever their contract was 6 months. They basically sold the game for 642,000 copies for the price that they paid for to keep it on there per month. No, Rockstar doesn't need Game Pass money. But think about this. Now let's move the conversation from what their week sales are to what they could do down the road. Now we're talking 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, maybe a year. Now it's coming to PC. Okay, it's coming to PC. And it could be on Game Pass, right? It could be on Game Pass. And now there's more people that can play the game that never bought the game. And they don't care if they bought the game because now they can just play it on Game Pass and then buy those microtransactions off of the online store. I would argue that Game Pass wasn't established in 2018. It was released in 2017. And what really pushed the mainstream was COVID, which is when Red Dead Redemption 2 came to the platform. Well, no, it came out after that. Well after COVID. How long do I give it? Based on the... Again, fucking... A wrench could be thrown in here, right? A wrench could be thrown in here because Netflix or Amazon has money. Netflix, Google, right? Apple. I don't think Rockstar would do this because it would kill the momentum of the people that could buy it. Okay. But you could have someone pay just exclusive. Like if PlayStation wanted to do exclusive, okay, they would have to purchase enough money where it would cover the copies that they think they would sell off the top. So let's just think that Rockstar thinks they could sell 50, because they sold 13 million copies for Grand Theft Auto 5. Let's say they want to sell 15 to 17 million copies the first week or whatever. PlayStation would have to give them money, or Xbox would have to give them money, or Netflix would have to give them enough money to have that money cover the 13 to 15 million copies they think they would sell, plus on top of that for the exclusive. So we're talking billions. Okay, like $1 billion to get exclusive. Now, that could throw a wrench into everything. If nobody does that, and it just comes out as normal, it's going to hit PlayStation and Xbox, Series X. You'll be able to play it. If you own an Xbox or not, you can purchase the game and play it on your Samsung TV, your Fire Stick, or whatnot. Okay, so that's going to give the first leg of sales. Then down the road, obviously they'll announce the online, and then what they make of the sales of that. Then they're going to announce it on PC if PC doesn't come out day and date the same, because it's never has before. It always comes out a year later. Then it comes out on PC. That increases the price. They'll sell another 20 million copies that year on PC. So I could see it coming out on Game Pass, I would say within 2 years. Within 2 years. It all depends on what the saturation point is. Yeah, Quintar says after PC launch. Titan says after PC launch, I agree. 1 year minimum. Yeah. I own Grand Theft Auto 3 times. I own it on... I think I owned it on Xbox 360. I bought it again when it was on the One, and then I bought it on PC. But who knows? The gaming landscape's in a completely different shape it is now. don't know if they do that. I'm not saying it's out of the question. That's a lot of money. They paid $7 billion for Bethesda. They paid $60 billion for Rockstar, or I'm sorry, for Activision. They would have to play a pretty penny for Take-Two like that. I'll tell you what, though, you would make your money back. That's for sure. Grand Theft Auto Online makes a ridiculous amount of money. With microtransactions, they sell a ridiculous amount. But people think I'm crazy, but I'm thinking about the new landscape and how Game Pass is affecting it. It's uncharted water right now, what could happen. Again, this would be the first massive game to come out during a landscape of where gaming is switching from owning your games, consoles, and going to cloud and whatnot. Yeah, Take-Two is... Rockstar alone is like 90% of that value of that company. Rockstar brings in the cash. Oh, they could buy them. I just don't think they make that move. I do see them making a deal, though. Like, Mo's not wrong. If Microsoft threw $1 billion, 1.6 billion, whatever he said, to get it to come on Game Pass, not exclusive, just put it on Game Pass. You see what I'm saying? Not to buy exclusively for Game Pass, but to get it on Game Pass. That would make people either buy consoles or get Game Pass for sure. Microsoft buys Take-Two and lays off. Imagine the outrage. I mean, it's business. The FTC would go super Karen. I see them they could make a deal where they pay like they did. I mean, if they're willing to pay $15 million a month for a game that was almost a decade old, because they started putting Grand Theft Auto 5 first time on Game Pass. Let me see if it GTA came to Game Pass in January of 2020. Okay, so it was 7 years out, 3 years within the cycle of Game Pass itself. It first showed up in January of 2020 and left in May of 2020, and then it came back and then left again and came back and left again. So they paid supposedly $15 million a month for January, February, March, April, May. Okay, and then every other time it's come around. Okay, so that's a lot of money to just have a game on there for a small period of time. And is that worth it? Right? That's $75 million for 5 months back in 2020 during the COVID time. Okay, so could they do it again? Could they pay for the money to put it on day and date on Game Pass? Again, not exclusive, just putting it out there for people. All right, Titan, for you would want to buy it, right? But as a customer, if you don't want to buy it for $70, $80, $100, you playing it on Game Pass for a little bit, you'd be like, oh, and if you're only playing for the single player, not a bad deal. But if you're playing online, obviously you're playing it like a multiplayer game then, right? You're playing like an MMO then. At that point, it wouldn't be worth you purchasing it and playing it on Game Pass. You would just buy the game and then play the online version of it. That's a whole nother thing. What about if Grand Theft Auto 6 online is separate? Right? Where they put that on Game Pass. Or they put that on PlayStation Plus. Or they put that on Netflix. Just the online version of it. That's a whole completely different landscape as well. I just think there's people that don't understand or see stuff like that. Okay, Baba. Come on, Sin. Red Dead 2 Online was separate to buy. Right. So what about if they put the online aspect of it behind a paywall like that? I don't know. Be interesting. Again, we're in uncharted waters, especially for a game this size. Because there's no game that compares to it. None. With the franchise that Grand Theft Auto is, you can, I guess the closest game you could think of is like a Call of Duty game. But that's like a one and done every year it comes out. What other game that's so big that it's the only other game is Minecraft. Minecraft and Grand Theft Auto are the only two games up there besides Tetris, right? There's no game that you compare Grand Theft Auto to the success year after year of all the games that come out for that and how much hype is for that game. That is a console defining selling game right there. Hate it or love it. Everybody's YouTube channel the last couple days when you're watching YouTube, does it pause and skip and do all the stuff, or is it just me? I've noticed a big change in YouTube since I've been back. And I'm not sure if it's my internet or if it's something that's more, if it's on YouTube side. Even free to play, right? I can actually see something along the lines of that, where the game is full price, and you get the game if you get the thing. But if you just want to play the online version, I can see that just being on Game Pass, or a service like that. I can see that. Right? Epic does it with Battle Royale Fortnite. Fortnite Battle Royale's free. But if you want to get the game, Save the World, you have to purchase it, right? I can see the same type of business model with Grand Theft Auto. I don't know the answer to that, Sin. I do not know the answer. Maybe someone in chat knows. I do not know. I'm not sure when it comes out. I could turn on my Xbox real fast and see. Yeah, it looks like it's out. Call of Duty Modern Warfare, it's ready to download. Yeah. Quintard says, yeah, I can definitely see it being on being free for sure. Kuda Papa says, just saying, single player is $100, multiplayer is free to play, or a 60-40 split, 60 for single player, 40 for the multiplayer. Yeah, I can see that. But it makes it free to play. It looked like a knock Fortnite, the F out. Right, and that's what I'm saying. I think I could do the Fortnite method. The role-playing Titan, that's a whole nother thing that we don't understand. I think the role-playing is going to be huge. I made a prediction that they were going to buy the guys, and they did. Okay. And when they implement the role-playing for the consoles and PCs, it's just integrated across the board. Holy Christ. That is going to be a beast of its own. Forget the single player of it. Okay. The role-playing is going to be ridiculous. Is it in xCloud? I don't know. Let me see. Anybody notice that YouTube is losing viewers? Something's going on with YouTube big time. All right, let's see. I'm on xCloud right now. I do not see it. I do not see it on the phone. But then again, it just got added, so oh yeah, I'm all about the single player stuff, Quintar. That's going to sell the game alone. When I talked about my sales earlier, that's just for the single player game. All right, it's almost 1 o'clock. That's going to do it for me today. I do appreciate you guys all coming out and hanging out with us as we talked and looked at stuff from this the news stories. The news stories that we went over today is that we went over the Grand Theft Auto, former Rockstar dev, thinks about GTA 6, might be disappointed to people. We talked about the Game Pass new tier, and we also talked about... what's the other one we talked about? I can't remember the third one. Oh, it was the Ubisoft devs. The Ubisoft devs not delaying Star Wars Outlaws. Man, I was like, what was the other one? I couldn't think of it. So we'll be back tonight for shooting the shit with Sarge. We play games with him on Wednesdays, and we have just banter back and forth as we're shooting stuff. Appreciate it very much for you to come out and hanging out with us. If you like what I do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. We just go over news stories, have conversations with you, get you past a couple hours past your day. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. I'll see you guys tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if I don't see you tonight, I'll see you tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Peace.